Live on YouTube started. For everybody tuning in on the YouTube stream, welcome in for the day, y'all. It is so good to have every single one of y'all in here with us today. We're going to go ahead and hop straight into the debates with the Trump supporters. In fact, we already have our first Trump supporter on the line. Their name is literally Libs Are Dumb. So, Mr. Libs Are Dumb, go ahead and prove that I'm dumb by beating me in a debate. Why do you support Trump?
Alien Enemies Act.
Okay, so that's the name of a bill. Go ahead and tell me why that bill makes you support the big guy up top.
Because it's expediting the deportation of the illegal immigrants.
Okay, so you just want to do whatever we can to expedite mass deportation.
It was an invasion, so that's how it has to be handled. That's how I feel.
Okay, great. So do you support him like illegally deporting some undocumented migrants?
I see it as a civil matter, and that's where I disagree with the due process that a lot of them aren't getting, because there's no due process to give.
Oh, so are you saying that undocumented migrants don't have constitutional protections?
Nope.
Okay, so then why did the Supreme Court rule that they do have constitutional protections? Would you please read this off?
I think they're full of shit.
Do you know who the Supreme Court is?
I don't care. I think that this is what needs to be done. And
hey, buddy.
It happened with Obama. It wasn't a problem then.
Tell me, what is the function of the Supreme Court? What's the function of SCOTUS?
I couldn't answer you 100%.
I'll tell you. So SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, is the highest court in America. You can't appeal a Supreme Court decision. When a Supreme Court ruling is final unless they make another ruling to overturn it or Congress passes a new constitutional amendment. They're the highest court in America, okay? Not to mention, they're also incredibly conservative leaning. Right now, 6 of the justices are conservative. Meanwhile, only 3 are liberal. And this very conservative leaning Supreme Court unanimously ruled 9-0 that, yeah, undocumented migrants do have constitutional rights and protections. And yeah, Donald Trump has unconstitutionally deported some, such as Abrigo Garcia.
Why do you think that they were allowed to invade our country through the Biden administration?
Why are you pivoting?
I'm just asking. I mean, because that's...
Yeah, but this question is a pivot, because I want you to concede that you were wrong when you said that undocumented migrants don't have constitutional protections.
What kind of due process should they get? How long would that take to get them all gone really quick?
Once again, you're still pivoting because you're not conceding to the claim you made that undocumented migrants don't have constitutional protections. I just showed you a ruling from SCOTUS which says otherwise. Concede.
So everything you're saying is factual. Okay, I agree with that. That's fine. That's why he did the Alien Enemies Act. And that's what needs to be done, period.
The Alien Enemies Act does not take away constitutional protections from undocumented migrants. One moment. That is why the Supreme Court ruled that a group of Venezuelan immigrants in northern Texas couldn't be deported under the Alien Enemies Act, since the Trump administration didn't give them sufficient time to have due process. So earlier, you did make the claim that undocumented migrants do not have a constitutional right to due process. Isn't that correct, sir?
Ones that are here illegally that didn't have due process to come into our country, I totally support it and I agree with it. Everything he's doing, I agree with.
Okay, so here's the thing though. So you don't like the fact that undocumented migrants entered into America illegally, and because they did so illegally, you don't support it. But then you do support Donald Trump when he illegally deports them. Okay, so if you're going to claim to be a member of the party of law and order, and it's for that reason that you hate undocumented immigrants so much, the very least you could do is just hold that standard as it would apply to American lawmakers breaking the law as well, such as Trump when he deported Abrigo Garcia, such as Trump when he committed 34 felonies or was held liable for the rape of E. Jean Carroll, or when he tried to coup and rig the outcome of the 2020 election. Okay, you cannot claim to be a member of the party of law and order and then just completely support crime and disorder as long as it's a rich white guy that's doing it.
Why was this okay when Obama was doing this, and everything that Trump's doing now there's videos and proof that these ex-presidents and senators, etc., were totally fine with it. I mean, they expedited it too.
Can you show me where SCOTUS ruled that the Obama administration had violated the constitutional rights of undocumented migrants within their deportation?
So you're saying he never did?
I'm saying that I don't have any evidence that he ever did.
Neither do I, so I guess we're even there.
Okay, so you just don't believe it. So you believe in things without evidence? And no, we're not even there because you have to provide the evidence that you're right. I don't have to provide the
I
evidence
don't
that you're
have
wrong.
to. No, I'm just saying I agree with what he's doing.
So then respond to the critique that I gave you, demonstrating your hypocrisy. You claim to be a member of the party in law of order, and that's why you don't like undocumented entry into this
There's
country
no
since
law
it's
and order
illegal.
here.
But then you literally support crime and disorder as it relates to a rich white guy such as Trump,
They're not being
violating the
charged.
law. Wait,
They're not being charged with anything. This is civil matter.
read
and
this.
What? Okay.
Read it. I'm not like read it out loud. I'm not even joking.
I'm not going to read it out loud.
Why won't Trump supporters ever read these things out loud? Like I've noticed that
I
trend.
know how to read, and so does everybody else.
So then please read it out loud.
Or they shouldn't be here.
Could you read it out loud?
I said I'm not going to read it out loud. I'm
Why
reading
not?
it.
Why won't you read it out loud?
I know how to read.
I'm not saying you don't know how to read. I'm not saying that at all. I'll go ahead and read it out loud. The United States acknowledges that Abrigo Garcia was subject to a withholding order forbidding his removal to El Salvador, and that his removal to El Salvador was therefore illegal.
That's writing. I don't care what that says. I mean, you could put up anything. Like, how's he getting away with all this then? How come it's happening? How come nothing's happening to him? There ain't
Wait,
nothing to
I have
do
a
with
question. So that
Why
was
is that?
that was a Supreme Court ruling. If you don't care about Supreme Court rulings, why do you care about undocumented entry?
What are you talking about?
Like you don't care about Trump violating a ruling from the Supreme Court. Why would you care about undocumented immigrants violating civil laws as it relates to unlawful entry?
The Supreme Court's against Trump. Most of them that are doing these decisions, they're all bought out. They all got kickbacks, just like all the rest of the liberal parties.
It's one of the most conservative Supreme Courts we've ever have had. So 6 of the justices out of the 9 are conservative. In fact, Donald Trump personally appointed 3 of them.
Okay. Well, it's happening.
So like you can't even say that they're against Trump when every single conservative justice, including the 3 he appointed, ruled that he did something illegal. Not everything Trump does is perfect. Not everything Trump does is legal.
That,
Not everything
everything
Trump does is like of fucking God, okay? Not everybody that opposes the shit that Trump does is against him or is bought and paid for by the liberals. See, this is the big issue with your mental decay and brain rot is you just want to assume that Trump is perfect and everybody who would ever contest anything he does is the problem. This is why I say you're a member of a cult. You are contesting the Supreme Court saying they're bought and paid for, even though it's the most conservative Supreme Court we've had in modern American history. And that's
it must
an issue.
be a pretty powerful cult if it's a cult. It must be pretty powerful.
It is incredibly powerful.
There's nothing nobody could do about it. That just amazes me. If it's so wrong, how come nothing's being done about it?
I just showed you a Supreme Court order where they ruled what he was doing was illegal. Is that not something being done about it?
Now? Is he going to jail? Is he going to get in trouble?
Okay. So I wish that you would actually just kind of respond to the fact that you disagree with the Supreme Court and you think they're bought and paid for just because they agree with your daddy.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have any evidence that the 3 justices he nominated to the court are bought and paid for by the liberals?
No. Do you have any evidence they're not?
Yeah, you have to provide evidence that your claim is true. I don't have to provide evidence that your claim is false. This is like me saying that I don't support President Trump because last night he raped a little girl, and then you'd ask me for evidence, and I wouldn't provide you any. I'd just simply ask you for evidence that he didn't. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to provide me with any evidence that he did it, so therefore I could assume that he's a child rapist, right?
It comes down to this, is that we wouldn't even be having this discussion if the last presidency didn't let this happen, period. This is ridiculous. I mean,
how do they let this quote unquote happen? How do they open the borders?
They didn't secure them.
They didn't secure them.
The wall being built.
Okay, so are you basically saying that they didn't pass enough policy to secure the southern border?
And none of them even barely any of them needed asylum.
Can you answer my question? Wait, I asked you a very clear question. Are you saying that the Biden-Harris administration just kind of stepped back, didn't do anything with the border, and just kind of let it operate as is, and it obviously wasn't secure enough?
More or less Harris, yes.
Okay, so you're basically saying that all the policy Donald Trump passed under his first administration didn't secure the border because you just accused Biden and Harris of riding on the coattails of Donald Trump's immigration policy during his first administration, and apparently that left it open.
I know one thing. This is a shit show right now because of the last presidency, period.
Are you going to answer my question?
I don't even remember what you asked me.
Yeah, you said that Biden and Harris stepped back and left the borders open, and it obviously wasn't secure. So that means that they rode the coattails of the policy passed for immigration under Trump's first term. Do you think that Donald Trump opened up the border and left it unsecure when he left office?
I mean, it's all corrupt. Even the Medicaid ordeal in California, they're going through loopholes.
Can you stop pivoting and
just so they
answer my
don't break the
fucking
law.
question?
Just so they don't break the law and pay all these illegal immigrants Medicaid.
I'm sorry. Are you coherent? Are you sentient? Can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Can you respond to them, please?
Hey, let me ask you a question. Who's
No,
winning?
I don't want you to ask me a question. I want you to answer my question. You said
winning?
that the Biden-Harris administration stepped back and left the border open. This means that Donald Trump didn't secure the border during his first administration, and he opened it with his policies because you just accused Biden and Harris of stepping back and riding on the coattails of his policy. So
Then
do
why
you
is-
think that Trump opened up the border under his first term for that reason?
No.
Okay, so then they didn't just step back and do nothing, or else Donald Trump's policy would have kept it secure under their term.
Why is Trump sitting the mold
Thank you.
of future presidents right now?
Thank you. I don't even know what that question means.
Like the left is done. Like this is, they've had it for a long time. I know that, but it's finished, and it is. And everybody hates Trump when he's doing a lot to help us. I mean, period. He is.
Well, it's one thing
Like
that he's
the
done
big
to help
beautiful
us.
bill, everybody's against it. If Kamala would have won and passed that bill, they would think she's the greatest thing on earth. If she would have went over and got all that money brought back to the United States, they would think she's the greatest person on earth. They wouldn't even hate it on her if she accepted a jet.
So the big beautiful bill. Did you know that cuts $1.1 trillion for Medicaid, Medicare, and food stamps over the course of the next 10 years? And it only helps. 1 second. And it only helps the top 20% of Americans.
Did you see how they broke that down?
Bruh, can you listen to me? Can you I'm actually starting to get pissed off because every time I say anything, you just simply don't listen. You close your ears and you stop listening.
Why would I care if you get pissed off?
Why? I don't care if you care if I get pissed off. I just want you to at least try to engage in a conversation since you're the one that requested for a debate and your name is liberals are dumb. Well, this liberal's shitting on you. Okay? So actually listen to the liberal and try to prove me wrong.
So you're
That's all that I'm
actually a
asking.
liberal? Are you really a liberal, or are you just a debater that likes to get paid by the left to argue with people because you're smart?
You think that I'm paid by the left? Who am I paid by?
Yeah, I know you are.
Who am I paid by?
I have no idea who, but I know you are.
Wait, speaking of getting paid, Molly, thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. I'm getting paid by Molly. Let's go. Let's get 1,000 W Mollies down below in that chat. Hi, Dean, please don't read this aloud. I will not read that out loud. As well as Christian, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Oh my God. Christian says, I know this is parasocial, but thank you for noticing me. Bro, Christian, I love you, man. Let's show some love to Christian and Molly down below in the chat for the $100 and the $50 donation. Holy shit. So I'm paid by Molly and Christian, I guess, and I guess they left. I guess they couldn't keep up. Huge shout out to Molly and Christian. Everybody, please show some love to Molly and Christian down below in that chat while we're getting the next guest up on this stream. I kind of popped off a little bit on that guy. Maybe I went a little bit too hard. Was I a little bit too rough on him? Feel free to be honest and let me know. What's up, Patrick? How old are you?
I'm 35.
Nice, Mr. Patrick. Do you support Trump?
I do. I actually want to know, so why do you not like him so much?
Yeah, there's plenty of reasons. JB, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying here, have some leftist money. Thank you. So I don't like Trump because I think that his character is decrepit. I don't like Trump because I think his domestic policy hurts America, cripples American industries, hurts American consumers, and reduces the purchasing power of the average American. And I don't like his foreign policy because it was significantly worse than Kamala Harris's. And then also I see a couple of people down below in the comment section saying respond to Peyton, talk about the tour. There's not a single point related to the tour that I haven't addressed. In fact, not only have I responded to Peyton, I ended up privately sitting down and playing Fortnite with him for a night, and we had a pretty good time. But anyways, go ahead and take it away, Patrick.
Yeah, no, I mean, I support Trump. I agree that some of his antics and stuff on Twitter, like, I don't agree with. I don't agree with how he talks sometimes. Sometimes I do think it's for clout. It's a little bit just for clicks, but there have been things that he has done for the middle class, like in his first term, like doubling the standard deviation.
Deduction.
Not deviation, sorry, deduction. Thank you. And doubling that, like, that helped me. So
yeah, I did.
I mean, I guess my girlfriend, she's a liberal. So maybe you can tell me something that would swing me your way, because
okay,
from what I've known, like, during his first presidency, my life was great.
Yeah,
during his second
for sure.
presidency. I want to see, like, obviously things are kind of chaotic right now, but maybe they're going to get better. I don't know. But I do know he did. There is something I can say that he did that helped me was raising the standard deduction.
So you're right to assume that that helps you. I don't deny that 110%. So my issues with his first term's policy, including the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, are as follows. So first and foremost, although yeah, it did double that standard deduction and that helped you, 80% of the cuts in that bill went to the richest among us, okay? And the fact that the pandemic followed and only increased income inequities, that only further disparaged the average American because of what could have been, right? And then also on top of that, that bill cost $1.9 trillion and only led to, on average, a 0.02% increase in the American GDP per year. So it had a terrible return on investment, okay? But those are like smaller issues, right? The big issue is when we contrast that economic policy of Trump's with what he's passing now and what Kamala Harris ran on, okay? Because what he's passing now doesn't kind of sort of help the average American while serving to the best interests of the wealthy. It only serves to the best interests of the wealthy. Meanwhile, it hurts the average American. So we have a study from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities that actually tells us that only the top 20% of income earners benefit from this quote unquote big, beautiful bill. Meanwhile, the purchasing power of the bottom 80% of Americans is actually reduced and they're effectively taxed more because they'll have less after-tax income. Okay. And when we compare this to what Kamala Harris ran on, that was just tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class, right? The difference becomes very clear. Okay. You would have been benefited by Kamala Harris, only benefited by Kamala Harris. Donald Trump actually is actively hurting you.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's a great, great argument, man. I honestly, I didn't even think I was going to be able to talk to you. I think you're a very smart person. I saw you debate Charlie Kirk, and so I just was like, hey, I gotta ask this guy. I gotta click request at least to ask him a question. So right on, man.
I appreciate you being good faith and being here for conversation. Is that all you wanted to go over, or do you have more that you'd like to go over?
I mean, as somebody in the comment section just talked about Palestine. What's your? That's actually a good. What is your view on the Israeli Gaza war?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I have a tendency to agree with the international courts. And when we've seen that the international courts have put out multiple arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu for war crimes, that kind of leads me to believe that the IDF and the state of Israel are simply not it. And for that reason, I'm pro-Palestine, and not because I'm pro-Hamas or anything. It's because I'm pro-humanity. I just simply don't like to see like 54,000 innocent Palestinian individuals bombed, killed, and slaughtered in schools, hospitals, and churches. So for that reason, I am pro-Palestine. Now, if we compare Kamala Harris to Donald Trump in the race, they were both pro-Israel. A lot of people in American politics are. It was just simply the case that Kamala Harris was less pro-Israel than him. Right. And I feel like his ideas as it relates to Palestine are like really gross. Like he wants to personally send America into the Gaza Strip. He wants to ethnically cleanse the 1.2 million Palestinians living there. He wants to forcefully relocate them to Jordan and Egypt while giving them, quote unquote, no right to return. And then he wants to flatten it and build a Riviera to then gift to the state of Israel. I think that's incredibly immoral.
How do you think we should have responded? Or I guess it really wasn't us. It was an ally. Israel responded in the way that they did. What do you think Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government should have responded to that attack then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if we had terrorists on American soil that were targeting American citizens, we wouldn't turn around and bomb the terrorists and everybody in proxy of the terrorists, including 54,000 innocent individuals. I think that the state of Israel should have launched special ops attacks specifically on the individuals that committed the attack. But also, like at the end of the day, I think I can kind of realize that I'm out of my depth as it relates to the specifics of what should have occurred or what should occur in the future, and I could completely acknowledge that. I just kind of know that something wrong is going on now, and I know enough to call that out, but I probably don't know enough to say, well, this is what should have happened, or this is what we should do moving forward.
But we shouldn't be, killing innocent children, is what you're saying. I agree with.
We shouldn't be killing innocent children, and we should probably have conditional allyships with everyone. Meaning, basically, that sure, let's be allies with countries, but if those countries turn around and commit war crimes, let's stop giving them our money, let's stop giving them our weapons, let's stop giving them our ammunition, let's stop giving them our big bombs, and let's stop supporting, their efforts to commit further war crimes. All
right. Well, hey, man, take the next call. I appreciate you taking mine. maybe one day I'll be able to ask you another question. Appreciate it, Dean.
For sure. I really appreciate you for your time. And thank you so much for being respectful, man.
Yeah, thank you. All
Yeah,
right.
awesome. We're going to move on to the next guest. If you are a part of the 5.9 thousand people that are watching the stream, I really appreciate you for being here. Make sure that you are double tapping away on that phone screen for me and shouting out this live with a handful of friends. Sage, thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. And Erica, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Let's get 500 big Erica W's. That is ERICA. Erica says, treat yourself with love, big liberal. Thank you so much for the love, Erica. I know exactly how I'm going to use that $50 to treat myself this weekend. I'm driving up to my dad's house, which is a couple hours away in the middle of the mountains, and you just bought me my gas. Thank you so much, Erica. That's incredibly kind of you. What's going on, Reagan? How old are you? Okay, Erica, your mic is incredibly muffled. I could barely hear you. You're maybe clocking in at around like 2 decibels. Brianna, thank you for the galaxy. Good to see you. Is there any way that you may be able to get a little bit closer to your microphone? There you go. I can hear you better now. What's up, Reagan? Are you MAGA?
Yep.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm currently 20.
20. You're the same age as me. Dot, thank you so much for the gift. So why would you decide to support Trump?
I think that personally, his policies follow through with what I personally believe in.
Oh, geez. Well, tell me, what do you personally believe in that he agrees with? Let's touch on it. What's like your biggest issue?
His upper class policies benefit me.
Okay, so you're like top 3%?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you will be benefited by Trump. You're going to pay lower effective tax rates. Like I think under his big bill, the top 1% is going to gain an additional $25,000 in average per year in after-tax income. Let me ask you, how much money do you approximately make per year?
Per year? So personally, I'm going to say this. I'm a daddy's money girl.
Okay. So how much money does your father make approximately per year?
Probably about like $1 million real estate.
$1 million. So $1 million after tax per year. An additional $25,000 is not going to do anything. Like I'm not going to lie, an additional $25,000 for somebody that's doing $1 million per year has no utility whatsoever. Like that's like a fucking penny to like the average American. Like you understand that, right? So you're basically saying that you're going to support his economic policy, which is going to give you no fucking utility whatsoever. It's not going to give your father any utility whatsoever. And this is going to hurt 80% of Americans that, you know, it's going to hurt 80% of Americans. So you're basically saying, I want to go stab the average American in the back, make them suffer. I'm going to defund Medicaid. I'm going to defund Medicare. I'm going to defund food stamps. And I'm going to reduce the after-tax income for 80% of Americans just so my dad can have an additional $25,000 per year, which is essentially nothing to him since he already makes $1 million. And it's not going to give me any utility.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, why? Because you're basically advocating for a lot of harm to millions for like no gain to yourself.
I'm gonna be like
thank you for the
completely
galaxy.
honest with you, Dean. I joined last time and I was the girl who said something about that Trump was gonna lead us to resurrection day.
Okay, so you're trolling?
Yeah, have a nice day.
Okay, see, no trolls here, guys. No trolls here, please. But I'm happy that I did get a chance to explain that. Like, I think that there's a really strong case that even people in the top 1% just still shouldn't support Trump's policy, even though it benefits them. What's going on? How do you? Okay, it looks like they are not here. Let's go to move on to the next guest. If you're in that queue, make sure that you do indeed support Trump, y'all. And yeah, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree, my bio on TikTok, as well as in the pin message over on the YouTube stream. I appreciate you guys for the love. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you would like to come up and debate. You guys, we are just looking for that next Trump supporter as we speak, everybody. We're looking at the queue as well as we're going to be looking at the chat. So if you want to kind of skip the queue and get up here fast, just be spamming MAGA down below in that chat. I will see you and I will pull you up here. So let's go and get that next guest up in the live right now, you guys. We see, like, for instance, let's go and get that next guest up in here, everybody. We're going to get user 29 up on the stream. Where they at? Everybody, we're just looking for that next guest. We're going to get Amelia up on that stream, everybody. We are loading up Trump supporters as we speak, so everybody just do be patient. We're super duper close to having our next guest up on the live. We got Charlie loading in. Here we go, everybody. What's going on, Charlie? How old are you? Okay, well, it looks like Charlie's just simply not here. We don't want any bots in that queue. So please, guys, if you are in that chat, make sure that you're actually here to debate. What's going on, 110 House? Do you support Trump?
Hi, Dean.
I'm guessing that is a child. No children, guys. No children. No children. Don't do this to me. Come on. Really? Like, just don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, y'all. We got Johnny loading up into the streamer now. What's up, Johnny? How old are you, man?
I'm stroking it.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Johnny. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. So out of a total 6.4 thousand people, I guess we have like 0 people that support Trump that are willing to debate us. Like, are you guys, I guess they're just that terrified, dude. They're really, really scared today. Really scared today. Really scared today. I wonder what it is. We got the next guest, Mima, loading up in here right now, everyone. If you're not scared, let me know in that chat. We'll pull you up. What's up, Mimo? You Trump supporter, man? You
Sorry, no, I'm not Trump supporter. I'm sorry, I don't know.
No worries at all. No worries at all, dude. No worries at all.
I like to support Trump because I'm an inbred.
Okay, well, we kicked them before they could finish that sentence. We're going to move on to the next guest here, guys. Go to drop a MAGA down below in that chat if you do want to join. It is proving awfully difficult for us to find the next guest. What's up? Are you MAGA?
Yes, I am.
And how old are you?
19.
19, and what time is it?
4.7.
Okay, your mic is incredibly muffled. I think you said 4:37, but like, holy shit, it was so muffled. Is there anything you could do to fix that?
Yeah, I got you.
Great. And if you are part of the 6.4 thousand people in the TikTok live stream, y'all make sure you're double tapping. Let's try to get up 2 million likes. So we're also going to try to just get other guests up here as well in the meantime. Yeah, so much better, man. So much better, man. So what year are you born in?
Was born in -1.
Okay. I think he just said the N-word. Maybe my ears are deceiving me. I kicked him. What's up, Louis? How old are you?
18.
18. What year are you born in? Okay,
2007.
it's another child. Jason, what's up? Are you MAGA?
I am. You don't remember me from the other day?
No, I don't. Are you driving?
$500.
Do you owe me $500?
Yeah, you remember?
Oh, Jason, I do remember you. Why would you bring that up? You owe me $500. Why haven't you paid up yet?
If I owe you, you'll never be broke. Hey, listen, I do got a serious question for you, though.
Are you driving?
I'm at work, yes.
Okay, Jason, I can't have you on the live because of TikTok TOS. Re-request when you're not driving, and I'll happily pull you back up, man.
Hold on, I'm stopping right now.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, would you mind disconnecting your phone from Bluetooth, though, just so we can hear you a little better? All right, while he's doing that, y'all make sure that we're double tapping. Looks like Jason is pulling over. Sweet. Everybody, we are very anxious and excited for what Jason has to say. There you go.
Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's going on, man?
That a little better?
Much better.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this deportation and the Supreme Court ruling and such.
Yep.
Why are we affording illegal immigrants protection under the United States Constitution when they're not? Why? Explain it to me, please.
Yeah, because that's the way that the drafters of the Constitution wrote the Constitution. It wasn't exclusive to citizens. It applied to everybody in the country. And like the main motivation behind that is a lot of our constitutional rights are in all reality just like human rights. Like think about it. Due process isn't merely something we should get because the Constitution says so. It's something that we should get because I see it as a human right. I don't think it'd be okay to just lock somebody up in jail for the rest of their life on a mere suspicion that they're a kidnapper or a murderer, right? Like we have to reward them that right to due process in order to make that appropriate determination so we aren't committing like rights violations.
Okay, so my question is, when these people break the law in order to come into our country, they don't do due process, or they don't do the process, they don't complete the process of becoming a U.S. citizen. They just sneak across however they get across, whether snuck across, brought across, whatever. They come in illegally into our country because there is a process to do it legally, right?
Yep, there is.
So when these people do not do it legally and they bring it upon their own, take it upon their own to come over however they get across illegally,
yeah,
why are they then protected under our legal system?
Yeah, for sure.
When they broke the law in the first place to get here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying, and I think that my main issue with what you're saying is just how hypocritical it is. You're like, oh, like if you commit a civil infraction and you enter into the country illegally, guess what? You're not deserving of human rights. But if you're a citizen like Trump and you don't just commit a civil infraction, but you literally rape a woman, you commit 34 felonies and you try to steal a federal election, you're not only deserving of human rights and constitutional rights, but you're deserving of the presidency? You know, it's just like crazy. Like you want to paint these people like criminals and say for that reason we shouldn't reward them any leniency, not even the leniency of human rights. Okay, but as soon as that criminal is Trump, we should reward them all the leniency in the world. In fact, we should just give them the highest ranking position of power available to any human on a golden plate. You got to unmute, man. Click on that face of yours. There you go.
You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't a New York judge just exonerate Trump of all 34 charges?
Did he appeal it? When did this happen? No, I feel like I would have seen it if it happened. I don't think so.
I don't know that it's true or not. I have seen it. So here's the thing. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I get all my news off of TikTok, but I did see it several times recently that under appeal, a judge did just appeal or exonerate all 34 charges. And Godspeed on your presidency.
Nope, I'm actually not seeing anything about that. So I obviously,
Well, like I said,
I feel like
I told you, I don't watch TV or the news, but I see shit on here, and who knows what's true and not true.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm like really tapped in. Obviously, it's my full-time job. I would have heard about that if that happened, but like I still looked it up. No, there's not been any updates on his 34 felonies. I mean, since the judge gave him his sentence.
So I don't know if it's AI that people are doing or what, but they did show a judge talking, saying that he was exonerated of all 34 charges, and
maybe you're referencing.
Like I said, it may or may not be true. I don't know.
Maybe you're referencing the Florida judge that let him off the hook for the documents case like a year and a half ago, but you're definitely not talking about anything recent as it relates to his 34 felonies.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that for sure. I was just asking. But it just seems really weird to me how somebody can sneak into the country illegally.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
You understand.
So I have a question.
You do understand my point, though, right?
Jeffrey
like,
Dahmer was given due process, right?
He was also a United States citizen.
So you're basically telling me that you should get more leniency if you like kill and eat 14 people than if you were to illegally enter into the country. That's kind of crazy. Like apparently undocumented entry into America, which by the way,
if you do it in the country that you're a citizen of.
Let me talk real quick, Jason. So you're basically saying like undocumented entry into America, which by the way only has like good outcomes for the country, like more money paid in taxes, more money contributed to the GDP, a larger labor force to uphold American industries. Like that is literally worse than killing and eating 14 people. You know, like if you kill and eat 14 people, you should be rewarded more rights than an undocumented migrant that's just trying to provide for themselves and their families. I think it's just like an incredibly dehumanizing view. And in fact, I think the view that undocumented migrants don't deserve these constitutional protections, even though we view them as human rights, is a tenet of fascism because you yourself are proudly upholding a disdain for human rights. And like B, right, it's just completely consequential of the rhetoric that Donald Trump has been spewing about how undocumented migrants are essentially subhuman, saying things like they're poisoning the blood of this country, they're quote unquote aliens, and all this other dehumanizing rhetoric and terminology. Like you understand that this has plentiful of negative impacts on not only undocumented migrants, but legal migrants as well. But I actually want to ask you a question. Let's see if like I could get you just to admit to being a fascist real quick. Like, do you agree that like due process is not just a constitutional right, but it's a human right? Click on your profile picture and click that icon of the mic again.
If a gal has children, doesn't have a job, and can't put food on the table, is it then okay for her to rob a bank?
I don't know what you just said or how it relates. Do you mind answering my question? Do you think that due process is a human right?
I'm 50-50 on it. I'm torn. Depends on what the due process is for.
Great. Hey, I have a question. Since you don't think that undocumented migrants have constitutional rights or human rights, if there's an undocumented migrant that comes into America and gets an abortion, they shouldn't be prosecuted since a fetus in their uterus is an undocumented migrant without human nor constitutional protections, right?
Maybe not in the United States because they're not covered under the United States Constitution.
So abortions aren't wrong.
It's not a world constitution.
So I just want to clarify.
The United States Constitution.
So I just want to clarify.
Covers...
I just want to clarify that you don't think that abortions are morally wrong at all for undocumented migrants, right?
I don't have a care one way or the other for abortions and undocumented aliens.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Really? Are you? But like when
That
when
doesn't
a
concern
citizen.
my life.
Wait, when
That
it's
doesn't concern my life.
so you don't care about citizens getting abortions either, right? You think it should be legal in all 50 states?
I don't agree with it.
Oh wait, why?
I don't agree with it. I don't think abortion is a form of.
Why is abortion wrong?
Is a form of fucking. Huh?
Why is abortion wrong? Also, is there anything that you could do to like quiet the background noise?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't lie to you. I should probably get off here. I'm driving again, but
Oh, you
yeah,
still
to your
lied to
point,
me.
I have not thought.
You still lied to me. Hey, Jason, I really want to finish that conversation, and I'm not even trolling, man. I actually really do want to finish that conversation. Please re-request when you're not driving and you have a moment. I'd love to chat. Bennett, go ahead and unmute that mic, man. Go ahead and unmute that mic. I'm going to go ahead and send you an invitation to do so. While Bennett's unmuting that mic, I would like to thank Adam for the $20 super chat over on the YouTube stream. Thank you so much for the love. That's incredibly kind of you. Adam, I hope that you're doing well, man. Everybody, please show some love to Adam down below in that chat, as well as to Jennifer for the $10 over on the YouTube stream as well. Huge shout out to Adam and Jennifer. It looks like Bennett left, so we're going to go get that next guest, Rylan, up in the queue. While we're getting Rylan up, I'd also really like to thank Kennedy for the $5 over on Venmo. And I just read your message. I'm not going to read that out loud, but I'm really happy that the streams could help Kennedy. Please show some love to Kennedy. As well as I'd like to show some love to Rose for the $35 over on PayPal. Rose says, hi, Dean. I'm a 19-year-old from Canada. I listen to your debates every day during my house cleaning shifts. You're not only entertaining, but incredibly educated. I love what you do. Rose, that is so kind of you. Let's show some love to Rose down below in that chat. Everybody, if we could please give 400 W's for Rose, that'd be so incredibly kind. What's up, Rylan? Are you MAGA?
So I grew up supporting Trump.
Do you still support him today?
I did vote for Trump. So I don't really know where I stand.
Okay, Rylan.
I obviously.
If you don't know where you stand, I think that the better place for you to be would probably be watching the stream compared to debating me on it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, man.
I just wanted to know some I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what news sources.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I'm telling you, you watch the stream, you'll have a significantly better idea of what's going on because we basically have conversations for 4 hours a day about what's going on. I think that this could be a great asset for you. Thank you so much for coming up, Rylan. What's going on, Andrew? How old are you?
I'm 29.
Nice. Are you MAGA?
I am not MAGA, and so I know that I'm not proper for this, but
I know I'm gonna have to kick you, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Let's go to get that next guest up here. Y'all, please only request if you are MAGA and you are looking to have a conversation. Everybody, let's go to get that next guest up in the live right now, guys. We got Brandon loading in. We're gonna invite Jax. We're honestly just trying to get anybody and everybody up here that would like to have a conversation with us about Trump. What's up, Braden? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
19.
Got it, man. So tell us, why do you support the worst president of your life, man?
Well, I don't agree with all of his policies, number one, but
is there any way that you could speak up a little bit? I'm sorry, it's just you're a little bit quiet.
Yeah, here, look, let's turn my mic.
All right, take it away, bro.
All right, so but I didn't really get on here to debate Trump. There was something that you said earlier that I kind of didn't agree with some of the things that you've said in the past.
Okay, like what?
Well, you said that you don't support innocent children being killed, right? But I believe you're pro-choice.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I only support innocent children being killed if they're in a woman's uterus, right?
But it's essentially the same thing because it's a human life.
Mask off! Kill the innocent children! I'm just kidding. So I actually don't find any trait that exists in a fetus that I should find morally valuable.
So no living cells at all.
I don't think that living cells matters.
Well, it'll form into a human life.
It'll be a human in the future.
It's essentially the same thing.
So we should value things that might be human in the future?
It's not a might, it's a definite.
Okay, well then you don't value fetuses because, I mean, what is it? 1 in 3 pregnancies miscarry?
Not 1 in 3.
Okay, do 100%, I'm pretty sure that it is 1 in 3. But regardless, is when you say that it will definitely be human in the future, you're basically saying it will with certainty? You're saying it's a 100% chance that it will be an individual like you are in the future? Is there a 100%
No,
success
sir.
rate of abortion? Okay, so then what are you saying?
So what I was saying was that it's it's a definite that it will become a human
Yeah,
life,
but definite means
whether or
it's
not
like.
it perishes.
But when you say like definite, like you're basically saying it's 100% going to happen, right?
Like not essentially.
Okay, so then what does definite mean?
Definite is like a. Okay, I shouldn't say definite then. I should say like probability like wise is like higher up than less than.
Like a higher like it's more likely it's going to occur than not occur. Got it. Okay, all right. So if something is more likely than not going to be a person like you or me in the future, we shouldn't be able to kill it, is what you're saying. We shouldn't be able to stop it.
Right.
Okay, well, I mean, like the sperm and egg that both your mother and your father produced on the night of your conception, more likely than not, would have been a human in the future because we know that you were conceived from it, right? So would it have been wrong for your dad to pull out and kill that sperm?
Well, I'm a Christian, and in the Bible it says don't waste the seed. So, like in my personal belief, yes.
Oh, okay. So you're basing your pro-life view off of your Christian beliefs.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think that's appropriate to do. I don't think that's appropriate to do at all. And I'll tell you why. First and foremost, do you agree with like typical reform preaching about how all sins are equal in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy as they all fall short of his glory?
In a sense.
Okay. So do you think that like it should be illegal to lie and tell your children that Santa Claus exists?
Like I don't personally believe in like lying.
Should it be illegal to lie and tell your children that Santa Claus exists?
I don't think it should be illegal. Like it's not illegal to commit sin.
Right. Okay. Well, you're telling us that although it's a sin to lie and tell your children that Santa Claus exists, it shouldn't be illegal. So then why should the sin of abortion be illegal if those two sins are identical in the eyes of God?
Well, murder is considered a crime, right?
You got me. So this isn't just a critique that would apply to abortion or lying. This is actually an overall critique that disposes the truth of the matter of the fact that you just simply cannot coherently run and operate a criminal justice system using Christianity as a support. Okay? Like, there's no delineation that we can make, given the scripture and your Christian beliefs, between the sin of murder or the sin of lying. But obviously, you think that one sin is worse than the other, given your preferences, and you use those preferences to dictate how the state should legislate. Okay, well, that's just not rooted within your Christian beliefs. And he left, man. I really wish that you wouldn't have left there because I wasn't just trying to dunk on you. I was actually about to have a really good conversation with you, make a good couple points as it relates to the applicability of Christian values to how you run and structure a government. But they left, so we're gonna move on to the next guest. Echo, Micah, what's up? How old are you? Lumberjack, what do you want? Put it in the chat and just tag me again, Lumberjack. Let's go to move on to the next guest. We got Levi loading up on this stream right now. Yo, Brianna, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Brianna says, your lives always make my day better. You should tell the audience me that things will get better in the United States and the world. They will, man. We're going to have a progressive revolution in the midterms in the next presidential election. I'd bank on it. As well as Condra, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Kennedy with a 5 and Emily with a 10. Let's show some love to Condra, Kennedy, and Emily down below in that chat. I really appreciate y'all for your kindness, and I will read y'all's messages off as soon as we can get that next guest up here. Let's go and get Jeffrey up in the box and let me know in that chat if you are MAGA and you'd like to come up and debate. We're going to move on to the next guest. Lumberjack, what for? What do you want to be let up for 1 minute to say? Come on, man. What are you yapping about? We're going to get that next guest up in the box right now. We got Ryder in the chat spamming MAGA. We're just still trying to find that next guest, everybody. We got Relentless down below. Everybody just kind of give us a minute to get that next guest up. It looks like the Trump supporters are getting scared. What is going on, Relentless? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, are you driving?
No.
No, okay, all right. So why do you support the worst president of your lifetime, Trump?
Why don't you support the best president of your lifetime?
Okay, you think he's the best president of my lifetime. So that means that you think he has some really strong policy. Name one of these strong policies of Trump's.
How are you?
Got it. Go ahead. Interrupt me. It's fine.
How old are you? You interrupt everybody, so I didn't think you would mind too much.
That's why I said it's fine, obviously, because I don't mind when people interrupt me. But I'm 20.
20. Okay. So
Looks like you got some
with
MAGA
a lot
mobile
of
there, man.
presidents that were
Looks like you got some MAGA mobile there, man. Were you lying about not driving?
said MAGA.
Yeah, it just means really shitty connection.
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're not driving?
Yeah, I got T-Mobile, and
Okay, then what do I think?
No.
Okay, you're not driving. Would you mind like turning on your camera real quick?
how the fuck is it? Why do I gotta turn on my camera for you?
So you could
To
show
have
that
a
you're not.
conversation with you.
So you could show that you're not driving.
You always, so, like, what I want to know is what I want to do is
Okay. Be more relentless.
like I would say probably
Be more relentless. I just kicked you from the stream. The reason why I kicked you from the stream is because your connection is so bad, it is literally incoherent, and I couldn't distinguish a single word that you were saying. I would love to talk to you, though. I really would. So re-request when you have a better connection. What's going on? Okay, we're going to go to get that next guest up in the box. What's up, Fallen? How old are you?
Did I love you?
Wow, that was very outspoken. Appreciate you. Moving on to the next guest, everybody. Let me know in that chat if you're MAGA. We're going to get you up here to debate. It's really hard for us to find guests right now, so if you are MAGA and you let me know in that chat, I will be getting you up on the stream. Everyone just kind of give us a minute. Let's go to get that next guest up here. Also, I'm like putting a preference on like debating women. I'm not going to lie. I've been realizing in the last couple of weeks that like women are very like hard to find that support Trump, and it's like disproportionately men that come up on this stream. So if you are a woman that's a Trump supporter, let me know. Let me know. I'll happily get you up here. What's going on, Alma? Do you support Trump?
No, I just wanted to say you're awesome. I love to hear you.
That is
You're
incredibly
great.
kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Shout out Alma. What's up, Kindle? Are you MAGA? And Kindle left. Okay. All right. Molly Mono, go ahead and hop in that queue for me. I'll happily get you up here. Sam, go ahead and hop in that queue for me. I'll happily get you up here. We're going to try to get that next guest up here right now. Sophie, go ahead and hop in that queue. I'll get you up here. Let's go and find that next guest right now, everybody. Like I said, I think we're going to try to put a preface on finding a woman that's a Trump supporter to have a conversation with. Too many men as of recently. Too many men. I'm not going to lie. Where are they at? Let's go and get that next guest up here. We're just going to start trying to accept people. The only thing is like the queue order shifts like every 5 seconds. So it's actually rather hard to identify a guest in the queue, then click on them. What's going on? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Nice. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
What time is it?
It is 4:58.
4:58. Grace, are you MAGA?
No, but I just wanted to thank you for coming on here every single day and doing what you do because it's amazing. And honestly, watching your content and the stuff that you make makes me feel safer and makes me feel a lot happier that there's people out there that are willing to fight for what's right. So just want to
Grace.
say that. Yeah, you can kick me off now if you want, but have a great day.
You as well, Grace. That is incredibly kind of you. I appreciate you for your incredibly kind words. It makes me really happy to know that people enjoy my content. That's incredibly kind of you, Grace. What's up, Corey? Are you MAGA?
Nah, man. Thank you for doing what you do.
You're awesome, dude. Also, sick ass haircut. I gotta tell you that wolf cut goes hard. Mike, are you MAGA? Okay, Mike's not here. Republican King, are you MAGA?
Yes.
Okay, Republican King and Simone, guys, take it away. Tell me why I should support Donald Trump out of everybody, the worst president ever. Tell me why.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Yeah, I would say he is giving the largest tax break to the middle class, as well as having corporations pay taxes. Those are the basis of my argument.
Okay, so the basis of your argument is wrong on both fronts. So the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities actually indicates to us that this quote unquote big beautiful bill is going to decrease the after-tax income for the bottom 80% of Americans, which includes the middle class and the low class. And then your second claim there is that he's increasing taxes on corporations. No, he actually wants to decrease the corporate tax rate from 21 to 15%.
Well, that wasn't my argument. My argument was that he gets corporations to pay taxes.
Okay, I'm not so sure if I understand that argument. We'll talk about that next. I guess first you should respond to the first part.
Okay. I would say that carrying on his 2017 tax plan of doubling the standard deduction rate, as well as no tax on tips.
Wait, bro, what the fuck is your profile picture? Like seriously, like explain to me what that means. I see a picture of Joe
It's just
Biden, and then I see Kamala Harris in a bikini. Joe Biden has money in his hands, and I think it says, what is the text? Does it say ratchet shit?
it was a nightclub promotion. I don't know. I just saw it. It was funny.
I think that's like so incredibly cringe.
That's fun.
Right. I think, and then also just like the sexualization of Kamala Harris. Have you ever like sexualized like a male politician? Have you ever seen anybody sexualize like a male politician? Maybe make a picture of them shirtless in
maybe
a,
I
in a,
could
in a
reverse it.
Speedo.
I could have I could have Biden on the bottom and then Harris throwing up the money.
That's okay. That's still pretty cringe.
But
Take it away though. That's a cringe
Yeah,
profile
but
picture.
my argument would be doubling the standard deduction rate, similar. Well, he is continuing that on his 2017 tax plan, as well as including writing off tips, as well as overtime, and then the $4,000 tax credit on Social Security would mostly benefit the middle class. And with that being said, if you wanted to get into my argument about corporations, we could as well.
I mean, yeah. So when we look at the entirety of the big beautiful bill, considering all cuts as well as all forms of relief, like I said, the bottom 80% of Americans are going to have a lower after-tax income. Now, you could point out like specific things that they'd benefit from. However, in totality, like they're obviously not going to benefit from it, as they're going to have their after-tax income reduced.
Well, would you say?
And like I'm just gonna let you make this argument, and then I'm gonna kick you. And if you change your profile picture, I'll have you back up. Incentivization for you doing good.
Well, can we? Okay, well, so then fine. Can we get into the corporations paying taxes?
No, because I want you to respond to my refutation of your first point there. And if you want to talk about the corporate thing, if you change your profile picture, I'll let you right back up.
So do the majority of Americans work hourly?
Do majority of Americans? I don't know. Probably.
So hourly means no tax and overtime. So you would say that would benefit majority of Americans.
Okay, I've responded to this twice. Do I need to respond? Okay, how about this? Can you repeat the response that I gave you twice?
Well, you said the bottom 80%, but I'm showing you that the consensus would be the
No. So I've responded to that as well. Repeat my refutation, please.
You said the bottom of 80% would actually see tax increases.
Right. And that's when we consider the totality, the impact of this quote unquote big beautiful bill. You'd be able to point out things on them like that would benefit them. However, when we'd also consider the parts of the bill in which would serve as a detriment, it is the case that their after-tax income is reduced. So,
but wait, we just agreed that the majority of Americans would be on hourly. So if you're saying the bottom 80%, I'm showing you that the majority of Americans would benefit from that.
Okay, now you're just saying words. Like, I don't even know.
How am I saying words?
Yeah, because you're just saying that I'm wrong and that they'd actually benefit.
Well, you just agreed with me that the majority of Americans are on an hourly.
I don't understand what this has to do with my claim nor your claim.
Well, you said the bottom 80%. So I'm showing you that the majority of Americans would actually benefit from it.
Because they work on an hourly basis? Where's that coming from?
Because hourly basis means they can get overtime pay compared to somebody on salary basis?
Yeah, so like once again, I really hope that you understand that like cuts on tax on overtime or like giving a tax credit to some individuals working on some forms of OT, right, is considered in like the Center on Budget and Policy's disposition to believe that the bottom 80% of Americans are going to have a lower effective after-tax income. Like everything in the bill is being considered, even like the no tax on tips or overtime. I don't know what to tell you. Like these are considered in the center's evaluation, and there's just like more total cons than wins.
I mean, I just don't.
It's overall a net negative bill.
I just don't see how. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Go change your profile picture and I'll let you back up. But Simone, take it away.
All right. Is it fine if we talk about something else? But I assume you don't agree with it. Or do you just want to talk about Trump right now?
Well, I just want to talk about Trump right now. That's kind of the reason why.
All right, you can kick me, man.
Well, I appreciate you for being patient, man. You could have answered that question by looking at my background. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. Let's get that next guest up in the box. If you're one of the 7.1 thousand people tuning in, y'all make sure that we are double tapping away in that phone screen and sharing out the live with a handful of friends. Let's get that next guest up here right now. What's going on, Dion? How old are you? Dion's not here. What's going on? M, how old are you? M's not here. What's going on? Bladden, how old are you? Nobody's here. Okay, did we seriously just bring
I'm 20.
You're 20. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Why would you support the worst president of your life?
All right. What I wanted to talk about was how you think Kamala would have been a better.
Kamala, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how was she a better president putting more than over a dozen black people and brown people in jail?
Don't say the name of any drugs.
For wrong reasons. How are you going to say that she was going to be a better president when she didn't even step foot out of the United States?
Great question. So your first question there pertains to like her 45 convictions during her time as DA of San Francisco, insofar as like locking individuals up for the dissemination of the MDRUG, right?
But she knew they were false positives.
So that's just an addition to the claim that's false.
No, that was not false. That's what the judge said, and she knew it, and that's why she got. Why she got sued for it.
What lawsuit? Tell me.
I don't remember. Look it up. It says it right there.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to tell me the name of the source so I can look it up. Because I'm pretty much like familiar with like all the claims about her time spent as like DA or AG. I don't think that there was ever any lawsuit or an order from a judge determining that she had like falsely prosecuted individuals and put them in jail. In fact, I don't really even know if prosecutors can get sued for that. You know, like given that the ruling is upheld by a jury in a criminal court, you know, they could just like contest it and take it to appeals. And if it's appealed, that's great. But it doesn't typically lead to like the prosecutor being sued. So I think that you're lying, right? And because I think that you're lying, I don't think that you'll be able to give us any source or any evidence.
It's on the thing, but
it's on the thing. Question, come on. That was so lazy of you. Try better.
It's not lazy. It's the truth.
You said the truth.
Because everybody on the left is hard-headed. They don't know what they're talking about. Trump has done nothing but good to this country. Kamala Harris did nothing while she was vice president. Joe Biden did nothing. You guys forced him to be the president, even though he had condition after condition. Still couldn't do nothing.
I'm feeling like you're gonna leave when you're done talking.
Listen.
Don't be a beta and don't run away when you're done talking.
I'm not running. You're not answering my questions. That's exactly what you did to Charlie Kirk. You didn't answer any of his questions. You just talked about Jesus and God.
Wait.
But he was simply there for people that supported Kamala, and you didn't say nothing to him. And you got booed on your way out.
So first,
how'd that make you feel?
I didn't debate Charlie Kirk on Jesus, God, and Christianity.
Yes, you did. That's exactly what you did.
I'll give
two times in a row.
I've only talked to Charlie Kirk once.
No, you didn't. You talked to him 2 times.
How much are you willing to bet? I want to bet you money.
I will bet my life savings.
Which is how much is that? How much money is that? How much money is that?
It was you and Parker.
What is your life savings? What is your life savings?
It was you and Parker your first time, and the only reason you support Biden is because he pays
buddy,
his own pockets, which is not even your pockets because you don't work shit. You don't work. You just sit unemployed as fuck and think that I can have it free. Exactly, kick me because
I'm not gonna kick
zero fucking sense.
I just feel like you're gonna leave. How about I'll bet you $10,000 right now that you will not be able to give me any evidence or play any clips of me debating Charlie Kirk on more than one occasion. $10,000. Are you willing to accept the bet?
Yes. I will DM you both of those fucking encounters.
But I don't want you to DM.
You lost your money.
I want you to do it online.
I can show you where Charlie Kirk said you asked him 2 times in a row.
Why can't you do it online?
You mentioned it.
Why can't you just show the evidence on live that I've debated him twice?
Look up Charlie Kirk and you can see it right there. He makes fun of you every time you debate him.
So Charlie Kirk makes the claim that I've debated him twice in the last calendar year, but that's him lying. There's no evidence.
He's not lying. Just like you said, he was lying.
Wait. So if he was telling the truth that I've debated him twice in the last calendar year, there should be some evidence of it.
But
there should be like a single recording of these 2 debates, right?
But when he mentioned it, you never said he was wrong.
He just mentioned it in Cambridge. I wasn't in England. I couldn't tell him that he was wrong. What?
I'm talking about before that.
Before that, when did I talk to Charlie Kirk before that? When he had an opportunity to tell me that I've already debated him twice?
After BSU.
BSU? You mean what? I went to a Texan university. I didn't go to BSU.
I said after that.
After that, okay. At the end of the day, I only talked to him once. You don't have any evidence that I talked to him twice. They give me evidence. They give me evidence.
On his TikTok.
They give me evidence. No, there's not.
Literally on his TikTok.
And it should be easy to play me the clip of me talking to him twice. Do it right now, and I'll give you $10,000.
How do I screen share or whatever?
Okay, so you could load up another device. You could go on pause and go to the internet. You could go get your dad's phone, go get your mom's phone, your brother's phone. You could even just rely on people in the chat. This challenge isn't just for you, it's for everybody. I will give anybody $10,000 that can prove to me that I've had more than one sit down with Charlie Kirk. I will give anybody $10,000, okay? All right? That is a lot of money. That is so much money. Also, Bladden, you should come back to the live real quick. You should come back. Come back into the TikTok app, man. Okay, he's looking for the evidence. Bladden, please come back into the TikTok app. I cannot hear you right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, then also, you said that I didn't have a job?
Yes, because you work for free, but you get paid.
Yeah, for sure. 1 minute. Brandon, one second, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. Brandon, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal for the real job. Let's get 200 W Brennans down below in that chat, as well as Sonia with a $20 on PayPal as well, coming from Canada. Mark with a $20 and John with a $5. Yo, bro, can I get like a W Brennan from you for the $20 you just donated to me for my real job?
Exactly, because you sit there
and then Sonia, thank you for the $20 as well. Can I get a W, Sonia? What about a W, Mark, for the $20?
Never sit on my ass and make money because I have a son that he relies on me. So I work an hourly job. You say the middle class wasn't.
Marshall, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo for the real job. Let's go, Marshall. By the way, what's
exactly? You're gonna keep ducking. That's all you do.
I was just thanking my donors.
Oh, yeah, like you...
Ken, thank you for the $25 on Venmo for not a job. Thank you for the love, Ken. Let's get 200 W's for Ken. Hey, buddy, I have a question. Can you define the word job?
Job? Yeah, it's a job that you get paid hourly, but you would know nothing about that. I personally am a plumber. I make $30-some an hour. So I think that's good money. But when you say that you don't know... what
CEOs and entrepreneurs do not get paid annually. Hourly. Donald Trump has never got paid hourly in his life. Does this mean that Donald Trump has never had a job?
Yes, Donald Trump did.
Okay, so then you don't need to be paid hourly in order to have a job.
Yes, you do.
So you just think that like CEOs and entrepreneurs don't have jobs?
No, because most of the time, half of them were handed to him.
So then Donald Trump has never had a job?
No, because he had a good dad. And you're telling me right now that if your dad gave you $1 million, you would flip that out. You would flip it around and make that much business,
you just conceded.
That much money and success.
Wait. You just conceded that Donald Trump has never had a job in his life.
He's currently the presidency of the United States.
The president does not get paid hourly. They have an annual salary.
He gets paid less than a plumber does as a journeyman.
Okay, you get paid less than $400,000. I'd pipe down. But I just want to verify here that you don't think that the president of America
you're going to
has
flex
a job?
money because you sit on your ass while the Biden administration pays you money
you
to
have no
talk
evidence. You have no evidence. You have no. Wait, their administration is over. Why am I still getting paid? What's your evidence? But I gotta thank Natasha for a second. Shut up, Natasha. Thank you for the shut up. Thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, Natasha, straight from the Biden-Harris administration. I appreciate you for the love, Natasha. Everybody, please show some love to Natasha down below in that chat for the $10 over on PayPal.
You have never had to work for anything. You've lived in the suburbs. You don't know what it's like to struggle. So when you say this middle class cut is gonna fucking hurt everybody, you're wrong. You're dead wrong.
Dude, okay,
because
first of all,
at the end of the year, we're going to get 25% more back in taxes.
Thank you for the Galaxy, Jamie and Gabrielle. Thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the job. Shout out, Gabrielle. By the way, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, in the link tree in my bio if you do want to support me, y'all. But anyways, first of all, I want to assume things about other people that you don't know to be true. I spent a lot of my youth homeless. Right? So I wouldn't be talking if I were you.
Your dad was a millionaire when you were born.
Okay. I don't think that you know anything about.
Okay.
I'm still speaking. Okay. You have absolutely no information about me or my family. But if you're curious, the time I did spend homeless was with my mother. But you know nothing about my dad.
I absolutely do. The internet's free. And your dad was making more than enough to support you.
What's my dad's name?
I don't give a fuck what your dad is.
Then how do you know how much money he makes if you don't know his name?
Because of Charlie Kirk.
What? How does Charlie Kirk come into this?
Because he know.
How does Charlie Kirk relate to my dad apparently being a millionaire when I was born?
Because he said it before.
You're so delusional. No, he hasn't.
I'm not delusional, Dean. You're just hard-headed. You don't want to get shit through your fucking head.
What has Charlie Kirk talked about my father?
When you said that you've grown up rough. which you've never grown up around.
I've never
You
talked
have
to
never
Charlie.
had a job, Dean.
I've never talked to Charlie Kirk.
You have
about my
never had a
upbringing.
job.
I'm working right now. This is a job.
Okay, so no. Tell me what other jobs you had other than sitting on your ass talking about Trump the entire day. Promoting
question.
Trump.
That's a
You're not even.
So that's a
you're not
great
even
question. So
supporting
let's
Kamala.
let's talk about the other jobs that I've worked. So I was a software developer. So I'm a full stack web developer, which means that I build out web applications, mostly for real estate and e-commerce companies, to scale and grow their online revenue funnels. I worked as the creative director of a multi-million-dollar e-commerce company for over a year. And not only did I manage those online revenue funnels, but I also redid a lot of their product management. I worked back in with handling shipment and manufacturing, as well as I oversaw all general operations. It's also the case that I have 2 international awards for web development in back-to-back years, by the way. And then growing up, I developed software from the ages of around 14, 15 to 16 and a half to pay my mother's bills. So I'd be quiet if I were you. Not to mention the 7 months I spent working at Wendy's.
Your father helped you pay it. You didn't pay nothing.
Your mic is muffled.
I said your father helped you pay it. You didn't pay nothing.
Tell me anything about my father.
Because tell me how you're paying all these bills and you're not even of age to work. Tell me how you're not even of age to work and you're still helping your mom. Tell me.
You don't need to be of age to learn how to
Yes,
develop
you do
software.
to have a job. You realize what you just said. You have to be 18 or older to work in that type of environment, right? And you just said you were 15 to 14 to 16.
Hey, that's just simply not true. You could work as
you just said it.
So what I'm calling false is that you have to be 18 or older to work on a W-2. If anything, this actually makes me think that you grew up privileged. So I'd stop fucking talking if I were you. Like the only individual that's showing their privilege right now is unironically you. If you didn't know that minors could work as W-2 employees. And then secondly, when I was developing and selling software when I was younger, I wasn't working for a corporation as a W-2 employee. I mean, I could have, it was legal. You could work at 15 with a work permit as a W-2 employee.
Okay, exactly.
But it was actually just a sole proprietorship. It was hustling, man.
You keep muting me and it's not proving your point. You literally just admitted that you weren't of age to work. So you're lying.
Wait, how old do you think you have to be to work as a W-2 employee?
You have to... No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the software. You said you were 14 to 15 to 16 working on software.
Yeah, that's right. I developed and sold exploits for Roblox.
But you just said you had to be 18.
What's the law that would prevent me from doing that?
The company usually hires 18 or older.
Okay, so I didn't work for a company.
Okay, did you have your diploma?
A diploma? At 14?
Yes, because you need a diploma, and it's physically, if you go on any company, you will need a diploma for that type of job.
Oh, bless your heart.
So did you have
bless your heart. I don't think that you understood me.
I do understand. You're ignoring my questions.
I didn't work for a company. I didn't work for a corporation. Okay, I was young and I was hustling. So particularly what I did, I had me and then my buddy who's about 2 years older than me. We developed exploits for Roblox, and then we would turn around and sell them on public forums associated with exploiting the game. And through the proceeds that were generated from that, I helped support my mother. Right?
So
but
you're
that had nothing
telling
to
me-
do with a company, that had nothing to do with an organization, that had nothing to do with being like a W-2 employee. It was just freelance work.
Okay, so that's not money. So how were you supporting your mom when you were making no money?
So that was money. Yeah. People
You just
paid.
said you made no money.
No, I said I didn't work for a company. It was freelance work.
Okay, so exploiting a game is work.
Yeah, like coding and developing software. Yeah.
But it wasn't your game though. So how were you coding another company?
So you coded the exploit for the game.
All right, my last question, because I'm gonna get
Dude,
off
you're
that
so
topic.
fucking incoherent. You literally don't even have.
I'm not
brain.
incoherent.
Let me thank a couple donors
At all.
that just sent me their hard-earned money. John, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. I appreciate you so much for the love. John says, "Shut up! Shut up! John
kick me
says,
because you don't know nothing.
Basteen, shut up. John says, Basteen. Base John. Let's show some love to John down below. As well as
Kamala Harris
Natasha.
only got
Thank
the
you so
job
much
for
for
the
the
DEI.
$10 over on PayPal. Saying, keep fighting for the good fight. I really appreciate you for the love, Natasha. That is so incredibly kind of you. And then Danessa, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Shout out to Danessa. As well as Abby with a $5 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that love. And then Will, thank you for the for the $20 over on Venmo for the real job. Thank you so much, Will. And then let's see here, Cassie with the $10 on Venmo for the real job. Gabrielle for the $10 on Venmo, saying for the definitely not a real
This
job.
is what you got
Thank
to
for the
do
love,
when you're
Gabrielle.
losing a fight.
One second,
you
I'm
got to
thinking.
ignore me,
I'm
and
thinking.
then you have to look on your comments because you don't know.
I'm thanking the donors. Haley, thank you for the $2 over on Venmo. Riley, thank you so much for the
And if you
$5
really wanna
for the
talk about
diploma
Trump,
for being 14.
how about him?
Be quiet, quite frankly. Daniel, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. And Lux, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo from the DNC. I appreciate you for that, Lux. Yo, did you see that I just got $10 from the DNC? How does that make you feel, man?
Don't care about them.
Oh, okay. All right. I bet you wish you could get $10 from the DNC.
I work.
Erica, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo from the DNC. Once again, I appreciate you for that love, Erica. That's incredibly kind of you. Could you say W, Erica? Could you thank Erica for the $10?
All right, one more question.
Can you say thank you, Erica?
Answer this question.
I'll answer your question if you say thank you, Erica.
Whatever. Thank you, Erica. All right, answer this question. Tell me how Kamala was suitable for president when Obama himself said that he didn't want her to run office, that she was not the main president, that he would have never picked Kamala Harris in 1,000 years.
That's how you pronounce her.
I don't care. She lost, didn't she?
So you should still pronounce her. Are you telling me that like Republicans are so stupid you can't even pronounce words?
Obviously Joe Biden couldn't. I mean, he couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs and you would still support him.
I don't think that you have the right to talk about Biden's mental state when you can't even.
And I don't think you had the right to make fun of Trump. I don't think you or any other left side should have made fun of Trump and said that he should have died whenever that bullet went past his head, right?
So I actually.
But if we did it, it would.
So I actually didn't say that. I actually funny enough, I posted a video on my TikTok saying that we shouldn't be supporting this and we shouldn't be calling for his termination. Funny enough.
Actually, no. The only reason you did that was because of views.
What the hell? Okay, so
no,
as soon
because
as
you did not care about Trump. Let's be honest.
So you're right. I don't care about Trump, but I do care about America's civil and electoral processes. And,
okay, then how did Kamala?
And I think that in upholding America's civil electoral processes, you can't just be like off-in candidates, right?
Dean, you're completely wrong.
What am I wrong about? You should agree with everything I just said. Wait, you should agree with literally everything I just said. I just supported the view that it would have been a bad thing to unalive Trump. Why you think? So you think it would have been a good thing for that to happen? Since you're saying that I was wrong for thinking it was bad, therefore it'd be right to think it's good? Is that your perspective? Are you on board with 8647?
So
Is that you? Wait. Guys, can somebody please report him to the Secret Service, to the FBI? He just called for the president's unaliving. Like, that's absolutely unacceptable.
No, I didn't.
Because you told me that I was
literally just defending it.
We got this radical leftist communist on the live actively calling for the president's unaliving.
Literally,
you just told me you just told me that I was wrong for thinking it would have been a bad thing, okay?
No, because the only reason you even considered posting it is because you wanted views.
Buddy, I think that you should get some brain cells, quite frankly.
I do have brain cells.
Really?
Where were your brain cells when Charlie Kirk showed you up 2 times in a row?
I only debated Charlie Kirk once, and I doubt you even know what I debated him on.
Yeah, you just talked about, if gender was so real, what gender was God? Because he didn't.
You silly goose! That was Parker. That wasn't me.
Oh, that was your boy toy. I'm sorry.
So what did I debate him on?
You debated him. What's that thing called? It was a YouTube channel where he would have the timer.
It's called Jubilee, but like, what did I literally debate him on?
Murder, abortions.
So there
With
you go,
abortion is
abortion.
wrong.
And I
Abortion is
destroyed,
wrong.
I wiped him on the argument on abortion.
No,
In
you
fact,
didn't.
I wiped him so hard that once I was done talking to
Wiping-
him, he shook my hand and he told me that that was the best argument he's ever heard on the topic. And then he went on to the George Jankos podcast and said that I'm an incredibly intelligent guy.
But last time, no, he didn't.
You want to hear him say it?
He did not say that.
Okay,
Show me it.
I'll play the clip. Would you like to hear the clip?
Yeah, show me it. That's not AI generated.
It's not AI. You
Because
could go,
every time
you could
he-
go
every
watch
time
the entirety of
somebody
the
says something
podcast.
at college, he says that you just use him for views.
So I want you to go ahead and just listen to this clip of your daddy talking real quick, okay?
Obviously, your daddy too.
Is more likely to one day become more.
Well, hold up. By the way, he just accepted.
Obviously, one day.
So I
One
just
day.
want
That day has not come.
Wait. I just want to clarify. He just said he's your daddy too, implying that he does accept Charlie Kirk as his daddy. Since he said he'd be your daddy too, he didn't say he's your daddy. No, he said
I
he's
said so-
your
but if I
daddy
said
too.
something
So
that
that
line-
implies that you do indeed accept that Charlie Kirk is your daddy. But anyways, sit down, shut up, and listen to your daddy. Don't interrupt God, okay?
Very smart kid. I actually think Dean.
That right there is a sin. You don't ever say shit about
Bruh,
God.
stop interrupting him.
No, you don't say shit like
Bro,
that. because
you're interrupting. I'm gonna tattletale on you. I'm gonna tell Charlie Kirk that you were interrupting him while he was speaking.
Cool,
Listen
do
to him
it.
speak.
You interrupted him the entire time.
Likely to one day become more conservative because he's very smart kid. I actually think Dean is more likely to one day become more conservative because he's intellectually honest.
Would you ever be open to sitting down with him again and speaking to him?
Parker, I mean, that's maybe, yeah, I mean, he'd have to clean up his act. Dean, for sure, and I actually have a heart for Dean in a way, not in a romantic way, obviously, but like, I have a heart for that kid. Like, I actually think
So funny that you said that.
well, I mean, because society is so
So
sick,
funny.
right? But no, I think he's on a journey of intellectual discovery, and I feel bad for him that he's getting rolled all over the.
So he said that I'm incredibly intelligent.
He said you were on a journey. He said you're on a journey. Don't mean you're there yet, buddy.
Listen to the very first
Because
thing he
obviously
said.
you voted for Kamala, so you don't have zero brain cells. The only reason.
Listen to the first three words he said.
Very smart kid.
Did you hear that? Do you need to be played again?
Because if he would have said anything else, then you would have cried about it for 12 years.
So he called me a very
You're
smart
obviously
kid.
not smart, Dean. He makes fun of you and your whole group.
Wait, but Charlie Kirk said I was smart.
Okay, what did all them girls think whenever you'd had that sexual assault? Oh,
What?
shit. You think we all forgot about that? You and your little posse had that little sexual assault, domestic girls, but you're so feminist and you support all these girls' rights, don't you?
Wait, are you accusing me of being a rapist?
There was literally a whole thing about it for a week.
Can you show me it?
I don't need to show you. It was on the fucking thing, dude.
What thing?
Charlie Kirk literally replied to it himself and said you were the most disgusting person.
What thing? Can
What
you show?
thing? When you
What
were-
are you talking about? By the way, I just want to let you know, like, I could sue you, all right? But I'd rather just embarrass you. What? Can you give me? I think that's a pretty serious
So
claim.
you gotta talk about suing because you need more money.
I think it's absolutely, like, it'd be absolutely acceptable for me to sue you because you're alleging that I'm a rapist. Okay, isn't that what Donald Trump did to E. Jean Carroll? Except, she was able
You
to
remember the
I
year
don't know,
date? She
convince
didn't
the
remember-
anonymous jury of 9. Can you, like, show me any evidence about me being a rapist? Like, I'm not willing to move on. Like you just accused me of grape, which is a very serious thing in front of
Can
an
you
audience.
show me the proof?
No, you just accused me of grape, which is a very serious thing in front of an audience of over 10,000 people. We're not going to
Actually-
move on from that at all, okay? I think we need some more information. I'm going to give the mic to you. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm not going to cut you off. But I think you need to tell us a little bit more about that clip because right, that's just pure defamation. So I want you to kind of dig your own grave here. Tell us more about how I'm a rapist.
Sexually assaulting and raping
Okay,
is
who did I sexually assault?
multiple girls on multiple occasions.
Okay, what are their names? Who are they? Where are they at?
I don't care about their names. I literally seen it on an article.
On an article.
You can try to sue me all you want.
Can you give us the article?
I can't because you say you can't hear me.
So,
Can I send it to you?
So what's the publisher of the article? Who's the publisher of the article?
I will have to send it to you, but I will. And if you try to go for
Do you remember
lawsuit,
anything?
you're gonna lose.
Do you remember anything about this article?
Yeah, that you harassed, you and your friend group harassed girls on multiple occasions.
Okay, so let's see it. Let's see the article. So here's what you could do.
You say you can't hear me every time.
But I can hear you when you come back on the app. So go on pause. I won't be able to hear you. Go to Google, find the article, then come back. In the meantime, by the way, nobody should take that seriously because it's not true. By the way, but I'm gonna let him dig his own hole. We'll let him do his thing. We'll let him dig his own hole. He's not gonna come back with an article. Let's see here. Linda, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal for the not a real job. I really appreciate you for the love, Linda. Let's get 200 Linda W's down below in the chat. That is incredibly kind of you. Also, this is incredibly hurtful. By the way, I just want to point out I am a victim of that, and to be falsely accused of that as a victim myself is incredibly hurtful. I have my guard up when I'm on these streams, so I don't really show that as much as I maybe would in more interpersonal setting. I have to have my guard up on these streams, but it's worth vocalizing how hurtful that is. As well as Ruby, thank you for the $3 over on PayPal. Let's see here. Mia, thank you for the $2 on PayPal from Roblox. Brandon, thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal for dealing with Blanded's emotional crash out. Yeah, this guy's a tool, dude. Thank you so much for the $25, Brandon. Can we please get 250 Brandon W's? As well as John with a $10 saying, dog, watching you make grown men cry is my favorite thing ever. $10 more for Basty. And I love you, John. That's so incredibly kind of you. As well as Nicole, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. And Sophia, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo for the real job. Katie with the $11 for the absolutely not a real job. Charlie, thank you for the $20 saying Biden's last brain cell wanted to donate for my job. Let's go, Charlie. Then Costa with the $20 as well saying first time I'm a viewer. I can't even with Bladen. Yeah, this dude's a tool, as I said. And then Booty, thank you so much for the $40 over on Venmo. That is Bood, everybody. Saying watch your lives daily, but normally have to watch them the next day. Now you're in here, dude. You got them live. Boone, thank you so much for the love. That is B-O-O-N, everybody. B-O-O-N-E, everybody. Please show some love to Boone. As well as RJ with the $5, Christian with the $5, and then Brett with the $10 over on Venmo. And then Joseph with the $50 over on Venmo. Let's get 500 Joseph W's in that chat saying kick this loser. I can't kick him. I cannot kick him because he needs to demonstrate that he absolutely has no evidence that I'm a rapist. And that was a completely baseless accusation. That was defamatory by nature that I could absolutely sue his ass for, but I'd rather choose to embarrass him on a TikTok live. And then Lux, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Hannah with the $5 on Venmo. Daniel with the $5 on Venmo as well, guys. Thank you so much for the love. And then it's also Kim. Thank you for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you for the love, Kim. Let's get 500 Kim W's. Pamela with the $10. Noel with the $10. I really appreciate that. Then Oscar with the $10 as well. You guys are so kind. Holy shit. Thank you guys so much. And then Sonia with the $20 over on Venmo for the real job. Sonia, that's crazy. You guys are popping off. What the fuck is going on? You guys are showing so much love right now. Shout out to all the donors, dude. And Blandon, you're back. Do you have that article that says Dean's the rapist?
Oh, sorry, it was your friend.
What friend?
What friend? The friend that you had to cut out because he sexually assaulted somebody.
So you're talking about Harry. Who did Harry? Okay, obviously you're mischaracterizing what Harry actually did. So I'm not a fan of what Harry did at all. Okay, right? I think it's wrong, but he didn't sexually assault somebody. Okay, that needs to be made incredibly clear.
Yes, I'm sorry, I got the wrong people mixed up.
Right, and so I appreciate you for apologizing to me because you were falsely accusing me of rape, but now you're falsely accusing Harry of rape, and I want to make that incredibly clear. Okay, all public information.
False, there was articles.
Wait. I was so incredibly involved. I was talking to the women, and it's just very important to point out the truth. No, there was no public accusations of rape against Harry. That was actually absolutely not true. So what Harry did was he was basically playing 12 women at once. Okay, he had promoted the sense of being exclusive with every single one of them while talking to other women at the same time. Right? And I agree, that is incredibly morally wrong, but no, that's not rape.
I never said he raped. I said he sexually assaulted.
That's not sexually assault either.
Yes, it is. It's harassment, sexual assault. Same thing.
What's sexual assault?
When you don't have the permission or grant to be in a sexual activity.
Okay, well, yeah. So, I want it to be clear. He did have the individual consent of these women to be talking to them. It was just simply
then why did
it was just simply the fact that he was playing them and talking to other women unbeknownst to the individual women. right? Now, you could absolutely say like this may violate like informed consent, but I don't think I'm okay with pushing it to the limit of like calling that sexual assault, right? I think that's a completely mischaracterization of events. And then like further yet on top of that, it completely undermines and demeans what actually occurred because you're just using it to propagate a narrative that he did something he didn't. Like if you're actually concerned of like with like better treatment to women in society, and you're actually concerned with like holding Harry accountable, then like what you shouldn't do is like conflate what he did to something he didn't do, right? Because look at me now. Now I'm almost looking like I'm defending Harry because you're making false claims about him, right? You know, like you're forcing my hand from going from a perspective of like condemning the real actions he engaged in to now I'm defending him against the actions that he didn't engage in because of your false accusations. So this actually further demeans and undermines, right, like what occurred.
Okay, so why did you end your friendship and all your friends end the friendship so fast? Because you obviously knew something was going on that other people didn't.
So like I think you asked a good question. Why did I like decide that I wanted to stop being friends with Harry? I see like a lot of people say that I stopped being friends with Harry because I'm like soy, I'm weak, I like play into like this audience capture. But like that's just not true at all. At the end of the day, I like to see virtues reflected in my friends that I uphold myself. I think it's wrong to play women. And on top of that, he defended it, right? And I can't get on board with that, especially because I have a girlfriend too. You know what I mean? Right? It's like my girlfriend heard about that and she's like, oh, that's like so fucking gross, right? And it's just simply like different virtues, man. Like I think like friendships are conveyed upon shared virtues. Okay. And I don't think it's soy. I don't think it's sissy for me to end a friendship with somebody because we just have like fundamentally different virtues as it relates to engagements in the world around us. And especially backed by the fact that I have a long-term girlfriend that I love that was disgusted by that shit. I'm also going to respect her by not placing myself in situations with friends that uphold worse for like terrible virtues like that. You know what I mean? And like me, like dropping Harry as a friend isn't for me like calling for Harry to be canceled. Okay. It's like not at all. It's just an interpersonal relationship that I wanted to end. That's all.
Okay, and I understand that. I'm not trying to get rude or nothing. I'm just trying to understand your point of everything. But back to the like why I support Trump, okay? Trump is doing so much good and you guys act like he's not doing anything good. The only thing that I would say Trump is not doing good is that he's trying to get rid of preschool, which I don't agree with.
Yeah, name one Trump policy that's good.
The tariffs.
The tariffs. Okay.
That was a policy. You can laugh all you want, but that's an actual policy.
So what was good?
Name me 5 policies that made you vote for Kamala, other than LGBTQ, because that's all she talked about during her election, that she was going to support LGBTQ because Trump wouldn't.
Okay, so first of all, I think that the tariffs were bad because they stagnated investment into American manufacturing. They decreased American GDP growth.
It's bringing in trillions of dollars because Biden put us negative $4 trillion and supported a war for almost his entire time.
Hey, buddy. I'm about to embarrass you so fucking badly. I would literally hate to be you right now. You said that Donald Trump's tariff policy is bringing in trillions of dollars into American manufacturing. So this is a graph from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Okay, this is real fixed investment into American manufacturing. When we look at the Biden-Harris administration, we see a boom in quarterly investment into American manufacturing. A boom bigger than anything we saw under Trump's first term. But guess what, little buddy? Guess what? The moment Donald Trump wins the election in November of 2024, so the last quarter last year and the first quarter this year, what happened to investment in American manufacturing? It went stagnant. Look at that stagnation, buddy. Can you interpret this graph? Can you interpret this graph for me? You made the claim that he's bringing in trillions into investment in American industries. And Biden did nothing. So interpret this graph that shows Biden and Harris exploded investment into American industries. Meanwhile, Donald Trump made it go stagnant.
You realize for tariffs are obviously going to go higher than lower first starting out, right? Do you realize that? You're not going to instantly put tariffs on all these countries and expect them not to go straight down automatically.
So your claim has now shifted from Donald Trump brought in trillions of dollars into investment
He is
in American
bringing in
manufacturing.
trillions of dollars as we speak. Yes, he is going to bring trillions of dollars.
Oh,
I
he's
guarantee.
going to. He's
I
going
guarantee
to.
by the end of his election, by the end of his
he's
4
going
years,
to in the future. Got it, buddy. Yeah,
by
I'm
the
gonna,
end of yes,
I'm gonna put you on mute for a second. Hey, Walter, are you driving?
No.
I can hear
My
the
wife's
car.
driving.
Silly goose.
My wife's driving.
Okay, can you disconnect your phone from the Bluetooth and turn off the radio?
No.
Okay. Hey, Walter, I'm gonna kick you.
Wait. No.
Nerd face, thank you so much for the galaxy. As well as Rabbi, thank you for the 50 cents on PayPal. And then Brianna, thank you for the $50 donation over on PayPal. Thank you, Brianna. Brianna says, great to see you live as always. Brianna, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love, Brianna. As well as Kayla, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you, Kayla and Brianna. And then Laura with the $50 as well. Laura says, I'm so sorry that he made that accusation against me. Yeah, dude, he's just a total idiot. I'm not going to lie. Thank you for the love, Laura, with a $50 as well as a kind message. John with another $10 and Nicole with a $5. And then Brandon with a 25 for dealing with his crash out. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are so incredibly kind.
I'm not
I'd also
a
like to
crasher.
thank
You
Will.
don't answer my questions.
And then on mute. Will with a $20 on Venmo saying thanks for all that you do. Will, that's so kind of you. Thank you for the $20. Then T with a $10 over on Venmo. Sophie with a $2. Thank you guys so much for the love. Gotta continue, little bro.
All right, sorry. I was trying to hit the unpause button. Sorry.
Going to continue, little bro.
But do you realize putting all those tariffs, at one point, China put 135% tariffs on the United States, okay? You realize that's not good, right?
Holy shit.
And then they just dropped it down to the lowest it's been.
Okay, so you understand that before Donald Trump imposed his Liberation Day tariffs on China, that their average effective tariff rate on America was 21%. It was only when Donald Trump imposed 250% tariffs on China that they imposed 145% tariffs on us. Silly goose.
Because China is using us right now. And how do you not see that? Because they're getting better stuff than us for the price, okay? We are paying more to help China out than they're paying more to help us out.
So
and
I just want to clarify. We're paying more for Chinese goods than China's paying for American goods.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, buddy, guess what? Your president, Donald J. Trump, was able to get them to reduce their effective tariff rate on America by 10%. However, he increased our effective tariff rate on them by 20%. We pay the tariffs in which we impose on Chinese imports. That tax is ultimately picked up by the American consumer. Meanwhile, they pay the tariffs that they impose on American imports. So at the end of the day, Donald Trump ensured that we are only paying more for Chinese goods and they're paying less for American goods. You agreed that the original issue was us paying more for Chinese goods than they're paying for American goods. Donald Trump only exacerbated that issue. Donald Trump did something that you should hate. Do you dislike the fact that Donald Trump has made it so we are now paying more for Chinese goods?
We were still paying more under Biden.
But he's made us pay even more than that.
Because of tariffs, they're not going to automatically go down.
No, this was a deal that he made with them at the table. They dropped their tariffs by 10%. We increased our tariffs by 20%. That was his deal that he made with them at the negotiation table that he's been parading like a good thing. Okay, that was the outcome of the 2 months of escalation. Okay, that was the deal he came to. That is the long-term solution. Right? So you should be hating Trump for that. Also, earlier you asked me to name...
Obviously, it's going to go back down. I don't understand how you... It's going to go down. They're going to renegotiate.
That was the negotiation, you silly goose. But earlier you asked me to name 5 policies that Kamala Harris ran on. Do you still want me to answer that?
What about Kamala? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Never. Never. You should really join. I've been inviting you up and you've never joined. You should stop being scared. Yeah, so earlier you asked me to name that five policies that Kamala Harris ran on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, would you say that it would be fair for you to name 5 policies Donald Trump ran on if I could name 5 policies that Kamala Harris ran on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so 5 policies that Kamala Harris ran on. A $25,000 subsidy to increase the amount of individuals building new houses in America by increasing the demand for new houses now. She ran on a cap of limiting the amount that any any American could pay for out of costs of prices for pharmaceuticals to $2,000 per year. She ran on tax cuts for 100 million American citizens and the low
The same
and
thing
middle
Trump
class.
did.
So
The same thing Trump did.
so that's not true, but we'll get there. So there's 3 policies that she ran on. She also ran on a policy to limit how big corporations could buy single-family homes. She specifically wanted to prevent big companies like BlackRock and Vanguard from buying those homes. So there's 4 right there. And then a 5th policy that she ran on was specifically in relation to, let's see what like what's like a good 5th policy she ran on? No, there's just so many options. Continuing to subsidize American producers to bump up domestic supply, such as how she did with Biden with the infrastructure bill or the Chips and Science Act. She also ran on an increase in the child tax credit to $3,000 for a newborn, $2,500 for anyone from the age of 1 to 3, then $2,000 for anyone from the age of 3 to 17. So I was able to just name you 6 policies that would have been good for America that Kamala Harris ran on. Now you agreed that it would be fair for you to do the same for Trump. So take the mic away by telling me 5 specific policies that Donald Trump ran on in the same detail that I just provided you as it related to Kamala Harris's platform.
But yeah, I can. But 2 out of 6 of those, Trump originally said that he was going to do.
We'll debate
and
that
then
later.
Okay.
So name the 5 policies that you like that Trump ran on.
Huh?
So name 5 policies that Trump ran on that would have been good for America and detail them with excruciating nuance, such as I did for Kamala Harris. It's your turn, buddy. Take the mic away.
All right. The first one, the border.
The border's a word.
The border was a
name.
policy. He made that a policy.
So border is just a word. You have to be able to name the specific border policy. Like, for instance, I was able to detail the specific tax cuts, how many people they applied to, and what they specifically entailed. But the equivalent would be saying that she ran on economic policy.
The entire border. What do you mean?
But I was specific with what that economic policy was insofar as tax cuts for 100 million American workers. Don't just give me a word. Give me a very specific border policy. What was his specific border policy? Come on, little buddy. Come on, little bro. Are you going on pause to go Google? Do you need some help? Do you need me to hold your hand?
My kid was crying. I didn't want you to hear it. First, the entire border. There's not just 1 or 2 parts. The entire border. The thing that Kamala Harris didn't even
So what did he specifically want to do for the border?
I didn't interrupt you, so don't interrupt me.
I'm just asking for further clarification, little bro.
But you're not letting me finish.
I'll let you finish if you let your wife finish. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That shit was corny. Obviously, I did. I got a kid.
The fact that you think that a woman has to orgasm in order for pregnancy occurs tells me all I need to know. Now, please tell me what the specifics are about Donald Trump's border policy.
What about... Wait, say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm asking you to tell me the specifics about Donald Trump's border policy.
Closing the border for one.
That's that's like a phrase, but was a policy.
Oh, it's
that he
not.
used to
That's
close
what
the border.
happened. 99.99% of the border got closed. Okay, you realize that, right?
So that's just not even what Trump says. I think he says
yes, it is.
He says 95%. He doesn't say 99.
No, it's 99. Charlie Kirk said it himself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look it up.
Great standard
The
of
internet's
evidence.
fucking free.
So could you tell me what the policy was that he ran on and implemented to like reduce?
That was a
undocumented
policy
entry?
through his entire election.
Okay, this guy doesn't. What do you think a policy is?
A policy is what the president does to sit down with the vice president himself. Okay, you still with me?
Barely.
Yeah, you're a fucking joke, dude. I let you talk about yours. You're not letting me talk about mine. This is the same exact thing you did to Charlie Kirk.
I haven't cut you off. You asked me a question.
Yes, you did. You won't let me fucking finish.
Dude, you were talking. I was listening. You then asked me if I was still with you. And then you stopped talking, expecting my response.
No.
I then gave you a 1-word response and gave the mic back to you.
Okay, but I didn't say a word until you were done after for all your policies.
Because I didn't ask you a question like you just asked me a question. Just keep talking. Tell me the specific. Tell me what the specifically. What is a policy? Oh, you're going on pause to go Google it right there, right, little bro? You just type in policy
No, I'm
definition to
not, bro.
Google.
I got a kid, bro. I don't want you to hear him scream.
Okay.
Is that such a bad thing?
No, it's not at all, man. So what's a policy?
The second, what, for the first or second one? You want me to keep going?
No, I just want you to define what policy is. What is a policy?
Where did I leave off at before you interrupted me?
You're talking about something about how the president talks to the vice president? I don't know.
No, where the president sits down with the vice president to determine what he thinks is right, and then he will write the policy out, and then send it to the Senate. Right or wrong?
Wrong.
But you have to think about it.
I didn't have to think about that at all.
Wrong. Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
So policy, here's how I like to define policy. Policy is either a bill that is sent through Congress and signed into law by the president, or an executive order signed into law directly by the president.
So how was I wrong the first time? Because I said the exact same thing, and you said, no.
So specifically what you said was wrong is that the president writes the bill and then gives it to Congress. It's actually just written by representatives in the Senate or the House, and then placed on the floor of the Senate or the House to be voted upon and deliberated by the sponsors, which are the congressmen and women. Okay. Right. So that's like specifically where you were wrong. But now that we understand that policies of bill through Congress are an EO, can you detail any specific congressional bills or executive orders that he ran on? Because like the slogan, like close the border, that's not a policy or an EO. That's more like a.
But you know what I'm talking about. You just want to be difficult.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you obviously do because you're explaining it to me now.
Can you tell me what you're talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, Dean.
I don't.
You literally just try to explain it to me.
This is gaslighting. You're totally gaslighting me right now.
I'm not gaslighting
What are
you.
the specific policies and executive orders he ran on? See, you don't even know what you're talking about. So how the hell could you expect me to? That's so disingenuous.
No, because I'm still baffled that you are coming at me because you literally just tried to say the exact same thing I said, just backwards.
Bruh, I actually detailed exactly where you were wrong in your definition of policy.
No, you didn't. You just reworded it.
No. Specifically where you went wrong is when you said that it's the president that drafts the bills. That's not true. They're drafted by members of Congress, not by the president. So that was just objectively, right, where you were wrong. So now go ahead and tell me, what were the specific policies or executive orders that Donald Trump ran on that you liked?
To make America great again.
That's not a policy.
Yes, it is, dude.
Wait, so you think that there's a bill in Congress that is literally called Make America Great Again?
You missed.
Dude, oh my God. Dude, what a total crash out. I can't believe this is a real fucking human.
All right. I'll give you 5 right now. The economy. The economy was a policy. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. The economy is not a policy.
Was dog shit under Biden.
Oh my God. The economy is a market. Okay? The economy is a market. All right?
What's the economy under? What's the economy under? Please tell me.
What do you mean by under?
No. Like, who controls the economy?
Everybody in the market, as well as...
Who's everybody? Tell me who's everybody. Because you know where I'm going with this.
Who controls everybody in the market? So, like, every single American controls the economy?
Wrong. Mostly the government.
Okay,
mostly the
So
government.
the government can impose restrictions on the market, but the market itself is made up of the people.
Right, but you're heading way off topic.
I just answered your question on who controls the economy.
One of Trump's biggest things that he said.
Can you spell economy?
ECO. Wait,
what's that?
ECOM. You want me to say it, or are you just gonna keep laughing? All right, you want me to say it, or ECONOMY? There you go. That's what happens when you don't interrupt me.
There you go.
That's what. Yeah, you can laugh all you want. You interrupt me, and then make me look like I'm stupid.
It's not me making you look like that, little bro.
Yeah, it is, little bro. You're younger than me.
Man, I think the amount of times you have been around the sun is the least of your concerns.
You voted for Kamala. I don't want to hear about your concerns either.
Name one bad policy that Kamala Harris ran on. Be specific.
She was gonna make it legal for trans women.
Gotta cut you off there. A, because we can't talk about trans issues on TikTok. We'll both get banned. And B, because she ran on no policy relating to the trans community. Not a single one.
Yes, she did. The LGBTQ.
Please show me where in her website, in web archives, where her agenda included anything relating to trans individuals. Show me one announced and or proposed policy from her administration, from her campaign relating to trans individuals. It's just a lie. It's nowhere to be found. Susan! Oh my God, Susan! Thank you for the $100 over on Venmo, Susan. Susan says Charlie Kirk told me to send this. Yo, let's go, Susan! Bro, let's get 1,000 Susan W's. And then Mary, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Abby with a 5, and then Will with another 20, and Heidi with a 50. Holy fuck! Thank you so much, Heidi, for the $50. Will with another 20, Abby with another 5, Mary with a 10, and Susan with a 100. Let's go. Holy shit. As well as Kelvin, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Lindsay, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal as well.
Kamala Harris does indeed
I was going to go ahead and read out their donation. Lindsay says Bladen needs to calm down and be a better parent and stop crashing out in front of his kids. So fucking real. Preach. Cook, Lindsay.
I don't want to hear you talk.
As well as Diane, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal saying you're inspiring. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys are so incredibly kind. As well as Brian with the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Dean, if you cook this loser any further, you're going to stand trial. Yeah, dude, I'm committing atrocious crimes right now. Randy, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Billy, thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. And then Danik with the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you guys so much. I actually have a question for you. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Say that one more time. I didn't hear you.
Do you think men are better at leading than women?
Leading?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Why not?
There's no identifiable characteristics that we could point out that are different between men and women that would be relevant to making men better at leading. Just like there's no identifiable characteristics that we would be able to point out between people that prefer blue shoes over people that prefer red shoes that would be relevant in determining that people that wear blue shoes are better at leading than those that wear red shoes.
Okay, so if we want to go under that category, then that's basically the same thing as DEI. And
I don't understand how the only person like engaging in the statement that you should do certain things predicated on what your gender or sex is you when you say men are better at leading than women.
Okay, what would you say?
That that we can't generalize like a group of individuals to be better at leading than other individuals based upon what their gender is. So what are your reasons why you think men are better at leading than women?
No. Answer my question first. Okay.
You didn't ask a question.
If that's the case, no. If that's the case, then how okay, Kamala Harris only stood for DEI.
Bro, I don't understand like how,
yeah, that's exactly your logic right now.
I don't understand how like DEI relates to our conversation, but once again, like
because you're just talking to talk.
The only person in this debate that is currently saying you should lead or not lead, you should work a job or not work a job, and your qualifications are totally rooted within your gender is you. Like you shit on DEI because you think that it replaces a merit-based society with like a gender-based society where we're telling people what their qualities or abilities are based upon their gender. That is your critique. You understand that's exactly what you are doing when you say men are better at leading than women. You're saying that you would prefer a man to work this job compared to a woman because a man's a man and a woman's a woman. Okay? So your false conceptions of what you think DEI are unironically perfectly apply to your position that men are better at leading than women.
No, because where I grew up, the men always worked and the moms always stayed at home, so there was never an argument about that.
So why do you think men are better at leading than women? Could you tell me what the differences are between men and women that make men better at leading?
Like why most how I grew up, I see it differently because, like I told you, men are supposed to work instead of women.
Okay, why?
So, okay, for one, it is true or not that if a woman went in right now, graduated straight out of college, got her master's, right, and a guy did the same thing, who's making more money?
Who's making more money? So there's a gender wage gap, meaning that men get paid more on average.
Okay, thank you for answering my question. So, okay, again, that's why I think that men. I'm not trying to sound sexist at all. I'm just trying to state the fact that I think it is meant
because of the gender
You're
wage
not
gap.
understanding me though. You didn't grow up how I did.
Okay, so I want to make it clear. The reason why gender wage gaps exist is because of sexism. Did you know that race wage gaps also exist? White people get paid more than black people for the same job. Does that mean that you think white people are better at leading than black people?
No, because I don't think race has anything to do with this.
Thank you so much for disproving your own argument. You just debunked yourself. Good going, little bro.
No, I didn't, because you're trying to get race into men and women.
I literally took your argument and I just applied it in the dynamic of race. You said because gender wage gap exists, therefore men better at leading. Because race wage gap exists, white people better at leading. Okay? So you reject that logic as it would apply to race, which is what you should do. You should reject that logic. But all this means is that you're being inconsistent when you special plea and only apply this logic as it relates to men and women. Caveman brain.
Wrong. It's not the same argument.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Okay, so you're trying to tell me that one, you did not talk about the same thing because men and women is different from knowing their color, okay? Do you know if you walked into Harvard right now and I no, listen. If I walked into listen to me. If I walked
this guy's getting mad.
If I walked into Harvard right now and I was white and I had a 4.0 GPA and there was a black guy, the black guy has a 3.5. They're going to pick him over me. You know that, right? So how?
Wait, who's they?
Yes.
Who's they?
Harvard.
Harvard right now?
Yes, right now.
Are you talking? Are you talking? So I don't like dealing with hypotheticals that are logically impossible. You graduating high school with a 4.0 GPA is logically impossible. And B, white people actually benefited more from affirmative action than black people. But affirmative action was stricken down by the Supreme Court and he left. So we're going to move on to the next guest. I don't know why he left. That was like a really weird point for him to leave. Let's go and get that next guest, Henry, up on the live, everybody. Yeah, God, good thing that guy never has to consider applying for Harvard, right? We're going to go and get that next guest up here right now. Y'all, if you do want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in the bio. I appreciate everyone so much for the love today. You guys have been so incredibly kind. Let's go and get that next guest up here. If you are in that queue, make sure that you are indeed MAGA. Y'all, make sure that you are indeed MAGA. We got Shells loading into the live as we speak. Everybody, what's going on, Shells? Are you MAGA? Do you support Trump? Shells, are you here? Shells is not here, so we are going to go ahead and kick Shells and then move on to the next guest. I really wish Shells was here. I would have loved to have a conversation.
You, bro. Hey, I love you.
How do you keep getting back up on the live? How does that guy keep getting back up, bro? Yo, Brianna, thank you for the $4 and the 44 cents over on Venmo, calling that guy a tool. So real. You get it, bro. You get it. We see Olivia down below in that queue spamming MAGA. So we'll get Olivia up here. We got Olivia loading in right now. Hi, Olivia. How old are you?
Hello.
That is a child. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute, y'all. Let's also try to get Ricky up in the live, everybody. Just kind of give us a minute to get that next guest up here. Where is that next guest at, everyone? Okay, we see Millard Fillmore spamming MAGA in that chat. Hello,
Hey.
Millard Fillmore. Are you MAGA?
No, I just want to say you have been.
I'm sorry. I have a guess that you were about to say something incredibly kind, and I really appreciate you for that. The only reason why I removed you is because we're just looking to debate Trump supporters, and you did like lie about being MAGA to get up here. But if you're gonna say something kind, just know that I appreciate that, man. Hey, Braden, before you even start to speak, I am projecting that you will be like a 14-year-old. Am I right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, was I right? I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. Not like the Trump profile picture and like the fishing pole in the bio. Tall tale sign. Tall tale sign. Moving on to the next guest, everyone. We got Tom Maga loading up in here, bro. Where are all the Trump supporters at? What's up, Mr. Tom? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, Tom, why would you ever support this lunatic?
Well, I believe mostly because of his tariffs and stance on abortion.
Oh, geez, which one do you want to talk about first? Lay it on me.
I'd like to talk about abortion first.
Okay, let's talk about abortion first. So, do you think that abortion should be left up to the states?
I believe that just elective abortion should be outlawed in general
Oh, God, why?
because you're killing a potential future human.
You're killing a potential future human. Okay. Is it not a human right now?
Well, currently, I mean, future sentient human.
Okay, so you're killing something with sentience in its future. So here's the
Yeah.
thing. Do you think it's like murder to kill a human zygote?
A human zygote, I wouldn't necessarily classify that as murder because the zygote is like the first stage of human development. Because
Does a zygote have potentiality for future sentience?
yeah, but it has a lot less potentiality than a fetus in the womb.
Oh, so now we're just getting super fucking arbitrary with it. Like, yeah. So as soon as you start saying that it has less potentiality than the fetus in the womb, therefore you don't extend it personhood, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not gonna lie, completely insane position. But let's just go ahead and test the position. So if there's a coma patient that has the same chance of waking up in the future as a zygote has as developing into an individual like you or I, would it be okay to kill the zygote? Would it be okay to kill and murder the coma patient?
Sorry, I was not paying attention. Could you repeat that?
If your mom gets into a car accident and she goes into a coma and she has the same potentiality of waking up in the future as a zygote would have to develop into a person like you or I, would it be murder if somebody came up and starved your mom to death?
I think that would be murder.
Okay, so then you would say that you do think it's also murder to kill the zygote.
Well, but she's had past sentience.
So if you only value lives with past and future subjective experiences, you wouldn't start valuing the fetus until it can deploy those subjective experiences at 24 weeks. Before that point, they had not had past subjective experiences.
Well, yeah, but it's still
Like, has a fetus had past subjective experiences?
I mean, after 24 weeks, I guess.
So then it's not murder under your view to kill the fetus before 24 weeks.
Well, I'd still call it murder.
Oh, why?
Because that's just my opinion.
Okay, but I'm asking you why you have that opinion. Demonstrate to me the consistency within your position.
There's not a lot of consistency, but I mean, I do have a hypothetical that would.
I don't want a hypothetical. I want an explanation insofar as why you think it's murder to kill a fetus.
Because you're taking the you're taking the rights of the fetus and killing that fetus.
Because you're killing it, just like you're killing a zygote, right? But you don't think it's murder to kill a zygote. So why is it murder to kill a fetus, but it's not murder to kill a zygote?
Well, I guess you could say that it could be murder to kill a zygote.
Oh, well, now all of a sudden you just run into the
necessarily hold that
crazy.
position.
Oh, but so you don't hold that position. So then answer the question: why is it murder to kill a fetus, but not murder to kill a zygote? Tom? Did you vanish? I think Tom disappeared. Tom, come back. I miss you, Tom.
Sorry, I'm back. My Wi-Fi.
Oh, looks like he disconnected. Hello, what's going on, Jackson? Are you MAGA?
Yeah, I would say so.
How
Can
old
you
are
hear
you?
me okay? 28.
28. All right. So why the hell do you support Trump?
This is my first time going on live, so just making sure. Can you hear me okay?
I actually can't hear you at all. No, I'm just trolling. I could hear you perfectly fine.
All right. I will say, I probably cannot, I definitely cannot speak in specifics like you can on certain policies.
Yes.
What I like about Trump is that he feels like an outsider on the political spectrum compared to some political opponents.
He's
He
an
does.
outsider because he's worse.
In what way do you think he's worse?
I think like the main one on my head right now is that he's a total authoritarian fascist that wants to consolidate power to the federal branch of our government and has no respect for the American Constitution.
Yeah, and that's one thing I wanted to bring up with you and see what your thoughts were. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and you had it was 2 conversations ago. You had mentioned that you really respect the constitutional electoral process. And
yeah,
one thing,
W Constitution. Yo, let's go. I'm a true American patriot. Okay, my blood is red, white, and blue.
there you go. And I believe it was a podcast with Bernie Sanders on it, and they were talking about how the Democratic primary, they haven't had a true primary since 2008. With what happened with how Kamala got into the race.
Okay, and you're calling that unconstitutional?
Maybe not unconstitutional, but it definitely is. It doesn't seem very
So funny,
patriotic.
so funny enough that the Democratic and Republican primaries have absolutely nothing to do with the civil and electoral processes as ordained and defined by the Constitution. It is the case that those private political parties like the DNC and the RNC are just that. They're private political organizations. You could go and start one literally tomorrow. And you're not taking issue with the way that Kamala Harris was made the running candidate, as she did get over 50% of the votes from the delegates of the DNC. But you're more so taking issue with the regulations, the norms, and the rules of the DNC themselves, because they let a small panel of electorates decide who's running for their party compared to a democratic vote of the people. And those same rules and regulations exist in the RNC as well. Okay. But once again, it has nothing to do with the Constitution. Now, if we want to talk about threats to our civil and electoral processes that have everything to do with our Constitution, we should be looking at how when Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, he tried to install himself for a second term and rig and steal it from Biden. And then when he failed, he was so fucking mad that he called for a termination of the Constitution.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. I think both sides start to go down the hypocritical.
You would never be able to give me an example of a Democrat that has literally tried to rig the outcome of a presidential election. You wouldn't be able to do it.
Not rig, but certainly contest the outcome of elections. It's happened the entire first.
I'm fine with contesting the outcomes of the election as long as the proper legal channels are taken. Donald Trump's quote-unquote contestment literally included him like trying to get the head of the DOJ, Bill Barr, to falsely announce widespread voter fraud, and then he installed fake votes for himself in Congress for Mike Pence to certify as real to illegally steal it from Biden.
Would you say that the entire Russia gate that shadowed his first term in office from 2016 on, wouldn't you say that kind of goes down the road of hypocrisy?
No,
certainly.
No, because the Mueller report.
We cannot compare the two. I understand.
The Mueller report, right, proved that Russia was interfering with the American election to push pro-Trump propaganda, and it even proved that they were colluding with people on Trump's campaign, such as Rudy Giuliani.
Did the Mueller report not get debunked?
No,
especially in his hearing.
The Mueller report is the source of evidence that people on the right used to say that the claimed that Donald Trump himself was colluding was debunked, because it said that there was not enough demonstrable evidence that Trump himself was involved. So that's actually the evidence that Republicans use to debunk the claim that he was personally colluding with Russia. The findings of the report was they couldn't find enough evidence to show that he was personally colluding with Russia. However, they did prove that they were interfering and pushing pro-Trump propaganda, as well as they were personally colluding with top lawyers on his administration.
Gotcha. But the narrative was pushed for 4 years, 5 years, and still is kind of that Trump was involved.
I mean, I think that like that's a fine narrative to push because it proved collusion with individuals on his campaign, and it did prove that they were pushing pro-Trump propaganda. But I don't see how this is comparable to him trying to rig and steal a federal election at all.
Yeah, I can understand why you say that. To me,
could you hold a red line against like fascist lunatics that tried to rig elections?
Well, first of all, I think there's a huge problem with our election system in general.
That's just simply not the question I asked you.
Can you repeat the question?
Do you hold a red line against fascist lunatics that tried to install themselves to be the president of this country, ignoring and violating the voice of the vote of everybody in the general election of 2020?
No, I clearly don't. But I think
Why not? Why don't you hold a red line against that?
Because I think if you weigh the pros and cons, I understand why you're asking the question. But if from my perspective, if you weigh the pros and cons, yes, Trump is a sore loser. He does not like to lose.
Don't just paint that as him being a sore loser. The fact of the matter is that was the largest attack on the American democracy since the Civil War. It was the largest internal attack since the Civil War. That wasn't just him being a sore loser, dude. Come on.
I hear you, but I just think when you outweigh the pros and cons of someone that I view.
What are the pros that outweigh the largest internal attack on the American democracy since the Civil War?
Some of the fact that he says that he's going to do things and feels like he gets them done.
Like what?
I think he's taking, from an outsider perspective, again, I'm not going to be able to tell you specifically like you want to.
So then you can't specifically identify any pros. So if you can't specifically identify any pros, then why do you think the pros outweigh the largest internal attack on our democracy since the Civil War?
I think that the country as a whole for 4 years under Joe Biden, when I started really paying attention to politics, was just a lot. There was no transparency. Inflation.
Now you're talking about Biden. You specifically said that there were pros about Trump.
Right. Yeah. So in comparison to those previous 4 years and coming out of a pandemic.
What is one thing that the Biden-Harris administration did that was worse than trying to rig the outcome of a federal election and launching the largest internal attack on the American democracy since the Civil War?
I think covering up the fact that Joe Biden was, not coherent, and I don't understand.
Are you seriously? What material harm did that generate? Let's assume that, they covered up the fact that he had mental deterioration by saying he was mentally sharp. What material harm did that cause?
That's a good question.
Name it. Seriously, name it. What was bad about that?
Wars started out of...
Started wars? How did the Biden-Harris administration start wars?
They did not start wars.
Great. So then you have to tell me what the bad things are that they did. Obviously, if they didn't start it, they're not responsible.
If you don't have respect for the commander-in-chief of the United States, like the United States is accustomed to having that respect, then you can start to go down a path of...
So stop yapping, bro. You understand that like close to 1,000 people have left since you started talking because like you're just not being specific at all. Like this is the most vague conversation I've ever had. What was the worst thing that Biden and Harris did? What did they do that was worse than the largest internal attack on the American democracy since the Civil War?
I think they let millions and millions of people into the country. Oh,
Undocumented immigrants. So funny enough, undocumented immigrants have only helped America. They reduce per capita crime rates. They pay $100 billion per year in taxes. They increase the American GDP by $300 billion per year, and they strengthen the American labor force. So that actually didn't hurt America, as well as they didn't let them in. How did they let them in?
because they did not enforce illegal immigration.
What specifically did they not enforce?
There were, you could see footage of lines of people, and there's a reason why so many people in droves came in.
So what was that reason? What did the Biden-Harris administration not enforce?
Because they were not deploying enough people to work the border.
That's not true. We've never funded border security more than we did under their administration.
There's no way that's true. I just don't believe that.
So if I could prove to you that that's true, what would your response be?
I would love to see that, and I will give you credit if you can prove that.
This is oh my God, this is just such a annoying debate. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So you could go to the American Immigration Council, search up American Immigration Council, the cost of immigration enforcement and border security, and you will see in 2021, 2022, and 2023, and 2024, it is the case that we have never funded ICE and CBP more. And this is coming from congressional budgets. Gross Budget Authority has provided in the conference reports of FY 2020 through 2024.
So do you think the narrative that's pushed?
No, stop. It's concede.
Fox News.
Could you please concede that the point you just made was wrong?
I'm about to concede in this question.
Okay.
So do you think the narrative pushed by Fox News that they're under, that's just a huge cover up by right-wing media?
I don't know what you're asking. I just gave you the budget reports that did indeed demonstrate that it's never been funded more. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just if you would think that would be reported on more, but
Right.
It seems like both sides kind of conceded under the Biden administration that there was a problem.
So what did they do to cause the problem? You're the one that thinks they caused the problem. What did they do? Honestly, man, I'm going to give you one last opportunity. You've been on here for around 10 minutes. You have not made one solid point.
That's fine. Hey, I said at the beginning, I cannot talk specific policy to the standard that you like.
Okay,
So,
I guess I'm being a little bit too rough on you, and I apologize for that. I think I'm just a little bit amped up from the guest before last.
You're fine.
So
And-
listen. I think if you're going to hold to these claims that the Biden-Harris administration did something worse than the largest internal attack on the American democracy, if the Biden and Harris administration did something worse than an attempt to silence the voice and vote of every single American, if you're going to hold to the claim that they did something worse than explicitly calling for the termination of the Constitution, then you're sure as hell going to have to be able to articulate it. Right?
Do you
this
think-
is seriously like, imagine that you were the principal of a school and you had to hire a new gym teacher for third graders. You had two candidates. One candidate has a pretty solid track record, but for whatever reason, you just don't fuck with him. But you can't be specific about your reasons why you don't fuck with him. Now, the second candidate is an adjudicated child rapist. All right? How crazy would it be if you looked at that first candidate that you just don't fuck with for any specific reason, and you said that they were worse than the adjudicated child rapists, and then your vice principal comes up to you and asks you, why are they worse? And you can't give them a straight answer. Like, that is obviously going to be a terrible view to take. And that is the view that you're taking as it relates to saying that the Biden-Harris administration was worse than the dude that tried to rig an election. Right? The dude that tried to launch that largest internal attack on the American democracy since the Civil War. The guy that has explicitly called for the termination of the Constitution. Right? And I'm that hypothetical vice president that's walking up to you and I'm like, hey man, why do you think that they're worse? And you're like, I don't really know. I just don't fuck with them. All right, that's crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. I think there are differences of opinion on what happened on January 6th.
There's no difference in opinion on how
There.
Donald Trump tried to steal the election from Biden, as he admitted to it to the Supreme Court.
Sure.
All right.
All
Was
right,
there
well,
anything
thank
else that you also want to go over, Jackson?
No, you're good. I appreciate you letting me on and
Yeah,
thank you
I
for
appreciate you for coming up. I'm sorry if I was too rough on you, man. I'm sorry if I was
No,
too rough
you
on
aren't.
you. Have a good one, Jackson. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just kind of give us a minute to get that next guest, Dylan, up in the box. Nina, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat saying thank you for being consistent, unlike the Trump supporters. I appreciate you for the love, Nina. Let's get 200 Nina W's. As well as Maxwell with a $2, something more with a 5, Brian with a 10. Once again, I do appreciate you so much for that love. As well as Calvin, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Let's see here. Give me one moment, everybody. Then Maureen, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Sammy with the $5 on Venmo. And Jackie, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Jackie says, thank you for putting up with the time needed, patience required, and the rage it results in to even attempt to speak some sense in some of these Trump supporters. That was fucking well worded, Jackie. Then Amanda, thank you for the $5 as well. Yo, what's going on, Dylan? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Donald Trump.
Okay, how old are you, man?
I'm 19.
You're 19. What year were you born in?
Sorry?
What year were you born in, dude?
I was born 2005.
2005 and you're 19. Okay, take it away, man. Tell us why you support the worst president of your life, Donald J. Trump. And Condra, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
Well, I believe that Donald Trump is probably not the best person, but I believe that he's superior to the other candidates that were running at the time.
Okay, so why are you whispering?
Oh, sorry, because my parents are in the other room, and I'm just not trying to make too much noise.
Okay. Bruh, don't worry about it, Dylan. I'm going to move on to the next guest. I'm sorry, man. Feel free to re-request if you find yourself in a better position to have a conversation, kind of speaking at, your true volume. I don't want to, have to deal with that dynamic of not pissing off the parents. We're going to move on to the next guest, everybody. I am really just looking for that next guest, everybody. And specifically, if you're a woman that supports Trump, let me know down below by saying me. I'll pull you up here. I'd love to talk to a woman. I don't think that we've had a woman all day long. What's up, Blinch? How old are you?
19.
19. What year are you born in? What's that? Okay, your mic is very muffled. We're going to go to get that next guest up here. Everyone just kind of give us a minute, y'all. Everybody be patient. If you're a part of the 7.2 thousand people that are watching the stream, make sure that you're double tapping. What's going on, Z? Do you support Trump? Z, I'm going to go to give you 5 seconds. You were just spamming in the chat. Z's not here.
Hey.
How old are you?
I'm 10.
Z, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Goodbye. Lily is loading in, everybody. Keep in mind, if you are in that queue, you got to be at least 18 years old, and you got to be from America, and you got to support Trump. Once again, we are looking for a woman Trump supporter to talk to right now. I'm not going to lie. What's going on? Mama J, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what's that?
I do.
What's that? How old are you?
I'm 25.
What year were you born in?
2000.
2000. All right. Why do you support Trump?
I just think he's a better candidate than Kamal because Kamal's wants to make boys cut their wee-wees off. You know?
All right. Well, yeah, we got a troll in the building. Goodbye.
No.
Moving on to the next guest. Bro, why can't I find anybody to debate? Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. This is pissing me off. This is making me upset. I'm getting pissed off. No. Kamala Harris did not want boys to cut their wee-wees off. Hello, Candace. Do you support Trump? Candace, hello? Austin, hello? Hi, how old are you, Austin?
I'm 19.
Do you support the worst president ever, Donald Trump?
I live in California, and I live in the Central Valley, and I live in probably one of the most democratic states there is.
Yeah.
And through that experience, it has its ups and downs.
Okay.
If you go up to San Francisco or you're going down to Los Angeles, they're two completely different cities that are ran by different people, by different mayors. If you look at the LA fires, for an example, the mayor didn't really do a great job at that. And lately, there's been a lot of problems with the governor. The governor in California is not the best.
Yeah,
and
so
the reason why
I agree. I don't think that Newsom's the best. I don't know what this has to do with why you support Trump, though.
Yeah, I was getting at that. The reason why I support Donald Trump is because Donald Trump not only, he has his ego, he has his way. There's a lot of things that he says. I've known from other Republicans too that they don't like him because just how he talks and what he says, right? And I bet you can agree on that too. It's just his ego, just how he is, right? But he's done stuff and got the job done. He's not sitting back. Joe Biden did his things. Donald Trump did his things. I'm seeing things like
Biden got more done than Trump.
What?
Biden got significantly more done than Trump.
What about the borders?
Well, they had a bipartisan border bill that they wanted to pass, but then Donald Trump called the Republicans and told them to fucking torpedo it. But let's play a game. Let's see which administration was more effective. I'm going to name a policy that the Biden-Harris administration got passed, and then you're going to name a policy that the Trump administration got passed, and we're going to go back and forth. I'll start.
Well,
one
I don't
policy
know,
that got
I
passed
don't
was
do
the
this for a
PACT.
living like you, Dean. I've seen your arguments with Charlie Kirk and all that, but I'm just an average American. I see things that are getting done. You can look on CNN, you can look on Fox News. There's just people that are just saying different ways. You can look at the news how you want to look at it. You can support how you want to support people. But at the end of the day, when you hear the people that you live around with and who they're supporting because of their reasons, like the farmers around here, right? We're building a train in California that's going to nowhere, Dean. Have you heard
Okay,
anything
what
about
the
this?
fuck do farmers in California building a train that goes to nowhere? What does that have to do with why you support the fascist, adjudicated rapist, 34 count felon that has hit on little girls and boasted about walking into the changing rooms of teenagers at Miss Teen USA, that is passing this big beautiful bill, quote unquote, today, that is reducing the after-tax income for 80% of Americans? How do these things correlate? What's going on? What am I doing here? What are we doing here? What the fuck is going on, dude? I'm confused.
I'm saying that we shouldn't worry about politics and we should worry about farmers.
Okay, well, Donald Trump has fucked farmers over in his first administration. When he imposed tariffs on China, they imposed tariffs right back on us, and that bankrupted American farmers because their exports went into the dirt, not to mention that there's coalitions of American farmers building today and standing vehemently against Donald Trump's administration for their mass deportation, as there's many undocumented migrants in America that do work on farms, and because he wants to deport them all, guess what? Now there's many American farms in which are understaffed and having lower yields of produce for us to consume, right? So at the end of the day, I don't think that the position that, we shouldn't care about fascism, we should just care about farmers is necessarily true. But even if it were to be true, guess what? Donald Trump doesn't not just not care about farmers, but he's been actively fucking them over.
Okay. I can say the other way around for Joe Biden, but you know what? I'm just saying, Dean, you should do your research on California farmers and how it's impacted with how the water is going into the Bay Area than being used to the farmers. 97% of almonds go to the world internationally, and 75% of California almonds feed the United States.
Okay.
That come from California.
All right. Well, I don't want to, dude. Okay. I appreciate you for telling me about Californian farmers. I'm going to give you one last opportunity to try to give me an argument why Trump is a good president.
Okay. Donald Trump is a good president because he says things and he gets it done. He's had more interviews done out of his 130 days that Joe Biden has ever done. You're realizing that they're finding stuff on Joe Biden on his health and stuff right now. They're digging it all up right now. They want to get rid of Elon Musk, and they're burning Teslas because Elon Musk is pulling up money. There's things that the Republican Party that are doing that is exposing the Democrats, and the Democrats are exposing the Republicans. At the end of the day, there are people doing their jobs, and I just believe Donald Trump's doing a better job than Kamala or Joe Biden ever did. You can look at the
so you
facts.
said that Donald Trump is doing shit and getting it done. So, like I already said, the Biden-Harris administration got more done than they did, as well as they fulfilled more promises.
What is that, though? What have they got done, though?
Yeah, for sure. They passed the PACT Act, which was an $800 million investment into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits. They passed the Chips and Science Act, in which invested into American chip producers, so we could go from producing 1% of the global chip supply to over 30% of the global chip supply in the next 5 years. They also got the infrastructure bill done in the first month of his term, where they invested $1 trillion into the renewal of American American infrastructure to incentivize jobs to expedite the bounce back from COVID. By the way, Trump tried to get that same policy passed for 4 years. He says infrastructure week every week, and he can never get it done. So that was an example of a false promise made by Trump that Biden got done. Not to mention he made other false promises, such as the border wall. He said he was going to build a wall between Mexico and America and make Mexico pay for it. He built less than 50 miles and stuck it to the American taxpayer through misappropriated DoD funds. In his second administration, he said he was going to slash prices on day one. Wrong, never happened. He said he was going to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine in the first 24 hours of his administration. Wrong, never happened. We're over 100 days now. There's been no update. And yeah, I mean, he said that he was going to be a man for the working middle class. His tax cuts are reducing the after-tax income of the bottom 80% of Americans. He said that he's never been a better president for women's rights. He is actively infringing upon women's rights by things such as attempting to get rid of the Federal Department of Education, which means that we can no longer enforce Title IX, which basically makes some forms of discrimination in public schools legal now, or at least permissible and unchecked, as well as the fact that he overturned Roe v. Wade, which has directly led to 66 million human rights violations as it relates to women and girls' access to healthcare. And he said he is a patriot. Well, how can a patriot stand so vehemently against core American values such as the American Constitution, in which he explicitly called for the termination of in December of 2022, and which he told an ABC News reporter in one of those quirky little interviews that he doesn't even know if he has to uphold?
All right. Dean, I have a question. Do you ever plan on running for any type of office, like Senate, House of Representatives, any sort of government in the United States?
Austin, I appreciate you for your question. I did kick you just because I have a feeling that you're not going to respond to what I just said, but I will still answer your question, man. I don't know. Probably not. We'll see. I guess we'll just have to see how things go. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute to get that next guest up in the stream, y'all. Let's go and try to get that next guest up here. If you are MAGA, let me know down below in that chat. I'll happily get you up onto the stream to have a conversation with me. Yeah, let's go. Let's go and get that next guest up here, everybody. What's going on, T-Mac? How old are you?
I just wanted to say I hate presidents who are narcissists, and who
Eat. You just ate up. All right, moving on. Let's go and find that next Trump supporter. Where are they at, everybody? Where's the Trump supporters today? Where are they heading? Quite frankly, we need to find them. Oh my God, Veteran with $100 super chat over on YouTube. Holy fuck, dude. Veteran, my man, I hope you're doing well today. Veteran says, I could give this money to a politician and get nothing for it. Keep fighting the good fight, sir. I'm proud of you. Veteran, you know I love you, man. You've been in here every single day. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. I hope one day I can meet you in person and shake your hand. I want to be you when I grow up. Let's show some fucking love to Veteran down below in that chat for the $100 super chat over on YouTube. Seriously, at least 1,000 Veteran W's, as well as Alexander. Thank you for the $20 over on YouTube super chat, saying, say unanimous for me. Unanimous. There you go. Thank you, Alexander, for the $20. I appreciate that. Let's go and get that next guest up in the box, y'all. For the 9,000 people in here, make sure they were double tapping. Y'all already know. As well as Sid with the $50 over on Venmo. Holy fuck, Sid. Sid says, hi, Dean. Been a god-awful weekend. I'm so happy to be able to catch your live today. Hope you're having a solid day. You know what? I'm having an all right day, Sid, and I'm sorry to hear about your god-awful week. Hopefully the live stream can make your day a little bit better. Let's show some love to Sid down below in that chat. At least 500 Sid W's. Still looking for that next guest. They're nowhere to be found, I guess. Roxy, thank you for the $1 in Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Roxy. Then Condra, thank you for the $5. And Maureen with the $5 as well. What's going on, ZAK? How old are you? All right, simply not here. 7,000 people in the live stream. Not one person, that is willing to debate. This is god awful, everybody. God awful, let me tell you. What is going on? Do you support Trump? Okay, guess not. Moving on. We're going to get rid of Zach. We're going to get rid of Gavin. We're going to get rid of all the bots, guys. We're going to get rid of all the bots. All the bots are going to get kicked to the curb. They're gone. They're out of here. They're no longer here. They're so gone. They're so gone. What is going on, RA? Do you support Trump? Another bot. Katie, what's up? How old are you? Are you another bot? Katie's another bot. Where are all these bots coming from? The other bots. All the bots. Where are they coming from? What is going on? Do you support Trump? Weston. It's another bot? Really, bro?
Hey, faggots!
Okay, it was a 5-year-old kid slurring. I would hate if you just never got into college in your life because of that. Wow, I'd hate that. I'd really hate that, everybody. I'd really hate that, guys, if you just never got into college because he decided to say something incredibly homophobic at the young age of 15. Moving on to the next guest, everybody. Where's the next guest at? I don't know where they are. They are not here. Let me tell you. Why are you guys so scared? I know I say it a lot as a joke to rage bait to try to get Trump supporters up here, but like the fact that we could have 7,000 people in the stream and then not like one person that's like, oh yeah, I'll debate him. Come on, so weak, bro. So
Playboy
weak.
Cardi 2028.
Nick, do you support Trump?
Playboy Cardi 2028.
The Playboy Cardi sucks, bro. The new album? Terrible. Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Do you support Trump? Great. Another bot. Okay. All right. For the Trump supporters watching, be honest. Did I win? Is that what I've been able to do? Heaven, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate that. Have I just successfully won? I've won. They're scared. I've won, everybody. I've won. They won't talk to me. Thank you for the... What's up, James? How old are you? James is not even here. Once again, another bot. We are winning today. We're winning. Chad, we're winning. The Trump supporters won't do it. Imagine standing in front of a crowd of 7,000 people and you're like, hey, man, I think the president sucks. And there's not one person that's willing to stand up and detest that? Or like maybe I've just successfully made everybody a liberal. Do we just have like an echo chamber of like 7,000 liberals in here? I think we might. We might have it. We might have achieved it. We might have got it done. This is progress. Okay, this is progress. Where are they at, dude? They're just gone. There's no Trump supporters, dude. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I know, for real, man, for real. What's up, Gabe? How old are you, man?
I'm 14. I love you, Dean.
Yo, hey, ended up being a cool fetus. Look at that. We're winning. Everybody, look at that. We're winning. Roxy, thank you for the $1 once again. And Madison, thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. Madison says, I'm about to go cook my mom's boyfriend in a debate. Cook him, Madison. Thank you for the $15. And you got my full support. Go cook his ass. Fry him. Kira, thank you for the $7 over on PayPal as well. And Alba, thank you for the 1. What's going on, Jordan? How old are you?
What's up, Dean? I'm 20.
Nice. Do you support Chomp?
No, dude, I just wanted to come on here and say that you're fucking awesome, dude. Peace.
Yo, dude. Love you. All the love in the world. Katie, how old are you?
Hi, Dean.
That is not an adult.
I just want to say, like...
I gotta kick you. Okay, so I've been trolling about the whole not being able to find a Trump supporter thing, but now it's actually kind of getting annoying. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually kind of getting on my nerves now. Is there just none? Did we run out? We ran out. We ran out, guys. We ran out. Ben, bro, please tell me you're MAGA.
I am a Trump supporter. We actually had a conversation a couple weeks ago.
Okay, how long did we talk for?
About 9 minutes.
Sonia, thank you for the fireworks. Well, hey man, I typically only talk to one person one time, but if I can't find a guest in the next 5 minutes, hop back in next time.
But if I can't find a guest in the next 5 minutes, hop back in next time.
They got an echo. Yeah, so I typically, like I said, I only talk to one person one time to try to get as many individuals up here as possible, but if we can't find anybody, I'll let you back up. What is going on, Luke? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what about you, Valley, or whatever the hell? How do you pronounce your name? Villy?
Yeah, Villa.
Villa? I'm so sorry, one more time?
Yeah.
Villa? Dude, that's kind of a sick name. Villa, that's nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you support Trump?
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm 19.
You're 19. All right, you guys, one moment. Randy, thank you so much for the $100 over on YouTube Super Chat. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. That is incredibly kind, Randy. Let's get 1,000 Randy W's down below in the chat. I really appreciate you for the love. That is incredibly kind. Thank you so much, Randy. Randy says, Dean, you're amazing, and I'm sure that you have a photographic memory. I do, quite frankly, have a photographic memory, and I do deploy that in the debates quite frequently. Thank you for the $100, Randy. I don't deserve that at all. That is so much fucking money. Thank you, Randy. Huge shout out to Randy down below, seriously. Randy.
I want to ask you, what would be your opinion if my reason for supporting Trump would be just because I'm so pro-life?
Yeah, real quick. What time is it?
I'm not sure, like five something.
5 something? What state are you in?
But America, but what do you think about like if I'm just so pro-life,
So
like
what state? What state in America?
California? So what do you think about like if I'm just
Wrong time zone. California's 3. Luke, take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
I'm just gonna let you know right now, I suck at debating. I'm gonna keep it so honest with you. I'm not very good at it. I don't really think of
No
stuff really
worries. Just
fast.
to double check. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Great. We're
Born
gonna try to maybe
2006.
get like one more guest up here. We're trying to get one more guest up here.
Yeah, no worries.
Go ahead and let me know if you're MAGA down below in that chat. Go let me know if you're MAGA down below in that chat. We're trying to find the next guest. Okay. Honestly, Luke, take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
I think it's for me. It's the tax on overtime.
Okay. So the overwhelming impact of this quote unquote big beautiful bill with all
Oh
the
my
tax-
god, I didn't mean to come up here.
No worries. So the overwhelming impact of the
Sorry.
quote unquote big beautiful bill. I thought I clicked Brooke. I'm sorry for not kicking you. So the after-tax income will actually be reduced for all Americans make in the bottom 80%. My source for that is the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. So although there's some things in the bill that may benefit you, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities would report that overwhelmingly you're going to be served a net detriment.
Okay. That makes you see. I'm not all. I kind of just know like a little bit of it. You know, I'm not like fully in depth. You know, I hear about it. It's what I'm told. You know, I kind of go on with my life of being a plumber, working every day. So, you know how it is. But that's one of the main reasons. And I think they're trying to get a bill passed where it's 32 hour is the minimum work week.
Hello?
It'd be
That's not
40
included
hours.
within the big beautiful bill. I don't think
Hello?
that's happening. Olivia, how old are you?
I'm 19,
What year were you born in?
2006.
Do you work a job? Okay, she's leaving. Not 19. Take it away.
Oh, I was just saying how I think they're trying to get a bill to pass. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I think it's the 32-hour
Dean, I
minimum
love
work
you.
week. The
Yeah,
32-hour.
so as it relates to there's a 32-hour work week. So that is not included anywhere within the bill that is being passed right now. I've not seen any indication that is going to get passed or is even like being supported by Congress. So yeah. Go ahead.
I just saw it online, and that's
Yeah,
just
I haven't seen
I don't
anything
know.
about that.
That's what I saw online. Online's just there's some things I get posted that aren't true, so that's how it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of confused on like why you think Kamala would have been a better president than Trump.
Yeah, for sure. Because unlike Trump, she actually fought for the middle class. She ran on tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class. And then give me one moment. Lady Ram, how old are you?
I am 20.
Great. What year are you born in?
2004.
2004, what month?
November 19th.
Yep, that'll make you 20. Sorry, I just wanted to be extra sure because of your profile picture. Anyways, so Luke, the last thing that we touched on there was the fact that Kamala Harris actually wanted to benefit the middle class. Unlike Donald Trump, she ran on tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class, 110%. She also wasn't a fascist or an adjudicated rapist, and she fought for better relations with her allies compared to distancing ourselves from every other country on the face of planet Earth.
I don't even know. Okay, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, I just think personally, this. I'm not trying to be sexist in any way. I just think it's better for a man to lead the country than a woman. Just because the only reason why I'm saying it, if you just listen, the only reason why I say it is because most businessmen and most entrepreneurs are more than likely men. I'm not saying a woman can't lead the country. I'm not saying there will never be a woman that leads our country. I'm saying right now, as of
Just because there's more entrepreneurs that are men doesn't mean that men are better at being entrepreneurs. It is stigmatized as a role for a man because of sexist norms such as the one you're perpetuating right now, and I could prove it. 85% of surgeons are men. Your logic would imply because most surgeons are men are better at surgery. However, a study from the American Medical Association proves the opposite. A study was done on 1.4 million patients on the global scale. What it demonstrated is that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male, you're less likely to die as a result of your surgery, and you're less likely to experience negative post-operative outcomes. So it is a case that you just told us a complete lie. Then also, Lady Ram, I just want to verify, are you MAGA?
Am I MAGA? Yes, I love Trump.
Okay, so just to let you know, like the people on your side are people like Luke that think men are better at leading than women, completely demeaning you because of your gender.
Wrong.
This is the dude who went on Charlie Kirk and completely got obliterated. Sorry.
What did I debate Charlie Kirk on?
Oh wow. Oh my god, this is the funniest thing ever.
I'm calling you out. You just said I got obliterated. What was I debating him on? I doubt you know.
He's got little pee-pee syndrome. Look, I'm just saying.
Wait, little pee-pee syndrome is asking for clarification?
Dude, okay, look. Hear me out.
Well, I just want to clarify. So little pee-pee syndrome is asking for clarification. Really? Is that your position?
Oh my god. You need help. Look, I'm just saying Trump fights for women and he has continuously fought for women. He has gotten rid of this absurd let's mutify our children. Mutilate our children and turn them into something they're not.
I have a question. Do you think that circumcision should be legal?
Circumcision should be legal?
Yeah, that's up to the family.
Yeah.
That is literally the mutilation of a child's genitalia. I guess we got a woke communist on the live.
That doesn't change the sex of a child.
It doesn't change the sex of a child.
Oh, so you admit that sex reassignment surgery changes the sex of transgender individuals? So if there's a trans woman that undergoes sex reassignment surgery, they're literally a female? They're literally a woman?
What the fuck?
I don't know. Do you have a response?
I just did.
I obviously didn't hear it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. No. I don't believe in anything that you stand for. That's just
You can't
whoa, wait.
So XY chromosome.
So I just want to clarify, like I stood for the PACT Act passed by Biden that invested $800 million into expanding healthcare benefits for veterans of this country.
Well,
so you don't believe in benefiting the people that were willing to lay their lives down for America? You're an anti-patriotic woke Republican.
Oh. Addie, get off. That boy didn't know shit.
Can I talk to your mom? Can I talk to your mom?
No, definitely not.
Wait, why not? Why not?
She would ruin you, dude. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I think that she wouldn't ruin me.
Okay.
Okay, just like Charlie did, though.
You don't even know what I debated him on. You just say that because you've been propagandized.
You followed him like a fucking stalker to multiple campuses just to get obliterated in front of people.
What were the multiple
How are you
campuses?
not embarrassed?
What were the multiple campuses I followed him to?
If I had them on the top of my brain. Oh,
well, it's because
goodness.
they don't exist. I went to one and I obliterated him. Yeah, I put out the most effective pro-woke propaganda ever. I demonstrated to over 80 million people how Charlie Kirk is afraid of me.
She's not afraid of you.
Oh, then why is he running? Why is he lying? He's running and he's lying. Like he said
Wait,
that he said.
I have a sincere question, okay?
Yeah.
So, do you think that Elon Musk did the Nazi salute?
Yeah, I do. You obviously don't think he did, right?
Oh my gosh. This is hilarious. I cannot
Hey, check
believe
this. So I just sent you an invite to turn on your camera. If he didn't do the Nazi salute, turn on your camera and do it yourself right now.
This is my Nazi salute to you.
Your camera's not on. You got to put your camera on.
Wait, hold on.
If it wasn't the Nazi salute, then do it on camera.
If it wasn't the Nazi salute dude on the camera, what would I do on the camera except for flip you off?
what Elon Musk did is what I want you to do, because I want you to give your heart out to the crowd. Do what he did. If it wasn't the Nazi salute, why won't you do it?
What crowd? The liberals? I'm good. Look.
So you won't do it because you know that he did the Nazi salute.
Definitely did it. He definitely didn't.
So
I'm
then
just
why
not
won't you
gonna
do
sit.
it?
Why won't I do what?
Whatever
I'm not
you
in
did.
a fucking. I don't have a whole crowd of fucking people in person, and I'm not on a stage with a microphone, sir.
You actually are on stage with a microphone, and you're speaking to a crowd of close to
You have a
10,000 people.
microphone. You have a microphone. There's not 1,000 people, 6,000, 7,000, however many people in front of me watching this go down, or however many there was.
Okay, I guess like all like 9.5 thousand people watching on TikTok and YouTube just simply don't exist. Okay.
Okay, I guess so. I guess this is not even a big deal. I'm just saying.
Can I expose you real quick?
You go right ahead. Expose what you
Okay, watch this. So you're a true American patriot, right?
all day, every day.
Do American patriots support the American Constitution?
Yes.
Okay, then read this off and tell me how you still support Donald Trump after reading a statement stated by him where he explicitly called for the termination of the Constitution. Get dunked!
No, I don't think so. Shut your mouth.
Eat up!
Violation of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found. Did not.
I eated.
False and fraudulent elections. All I'm getting from that is Biden has stood for the fraudulent.
But Biden. I got it. You always like to pivot to Biden when you're losing.
Biden.
I get it.
Yeah, and it's also Obama, and it's also fucking Hillary whenever she tried.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens. This is a script.
All of them.
Wait, as soon
Yes,
as I'm
sir,
able
it
to
is.
objectively fucking dunk on you,
Because
like
guess
showing you a
what?
statement. One moment, man. When I'm able to objectively fucking dunk on you by showing you a statement that Trump wrote and posted himself, where he explicitly calls for the
Oh my
termination of the
God.
Constitution, guess what?
you
You don't
not-
care because
Look.
Obama, Clinton, and Biden.
Look, hey,
So
it's okay.
typical.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Look, whenever you're saving money and you actually have money in your fucking pocket, and you can respect your country again. That's gonna happen whenever a little bit further down the road. But
Yeah, no,
there
thank you
was
so
no
much for the
respect.
$5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the $5, Hannah. That was
There was
incredibly
no
kind of you.
respect whenever Biden was in office. It was all fucking. He wasn't even running the country.
How can you say that Donald Trump respects a country when he doesn't even respect the Supreme Court? You know that the
He
Supreme
does.
Court ruled that he illegally has been deporting undocumented immigrants?
Yes, amen. Amen to that. They don't need to be here.
So you support him illegally removing them. So why don't you
He
support them
wasn't illegally
entering?
removing him. He's the fucking president.
Ready? Are you, you're about to get destroyed again? Let's read this together. This
They
is
should not
this
be
is a
here.
ruling.
They
This
should
is
not be
this is
here.
a ruling from SCOTUS on April 10th, 2025. Let me be incredibly clear. I am absolutely debunking your fabrication of a lie when you said he's not been illegally deporting undocumented migrants. This is a ruling from the Supreme Court made unanimously 9-0 with 6 conservative justices. It reads, on March 15th, 2025, the United States removed Kilmar Armando Abrega Garcia from the U.S. to El Salvador, where he's currently being detained in CCOT. The United States acknowledges that he was subject to a withholding order forbidding his removal to El Salvador, and that his removal to El Salvador was therefore illegal. So isn't that funny how I could debunk your lies with the truth, particularly the lie that he has not been illegally deporting undocumented migrants, and I debunked that with a fact that SCOTUS, the Supreme Court with 6 conservative justices, ruled otherwise?
Do you believe in God? No, I'm just saying.
I'll
I'm
answer
just
your
saying.
question once you respond to what I just said.
Okay, no.
No.
Still standing by what I said. I have nothing.
No.
I have nothing to say to you. I think.
You
think
said that
Trump
he wasn't
has done-
illegally
I think
deporting the undocumented
I think
migrants.
Trump has done. I think Trump has done a perfect fucking job.
So why are you okay with Trump breaking the law, but not okay with undocumented
He's
migrants
not breaking the law.
He's
not breaking the law.
Wait, I just read you. This is a Supreme Court
So
order
you're
that says
okay.
otherwise.
So you're okay with them being here illegally?
Wait, ma'am. This
But you're
Supreme
okay
Court.
with them being here illegally?
I'll answer your question
But
after.
you're okay with them being here illegally?
I will happily answer your question after you
You
acknowledge
want
that you
them?
just
No,
lied.
no. Deal here. Listen, you want all these people who come across that border to be here illegally. You're okay with that. You're okay with the women who are getting raped. You're okay with the people who are dealing drugs.
Like Eugene Carroll? Like Eugene Carroll?
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
But you're okay with that though.
Yeah.
But you're okay. That's
No,
what
the
you're
only
saying.
the only
You stand-
person
you
that was
stand by
okay
that.
with Donald Trump raping Eugene Carroll is you. Okay.
No, that's okay. That never happened.
Okay, so then why did a court unanimously determine that it did?
Oh my God! You're
Wait,
so
do you think that Armando Abrega Garcia is a member of MS-13?
Hell yeah, I do.
Really?
He had it written on his fucking knuckles, you dumbass.
Oh, wait, okay, he had it written on his knuckles. So could you please explain
my
to me?
God.
I have a question. Could you please explain to me how skull is a 3?
High school. What are you talking about? MS-13, dumbass. That means
So
a
do
fucking
you know what
thing.
do you know what he had on his knuckles? Tell me specifically what the tattoos were.
MS-13.
Okay,
What
so
the fuck else
so are
did
you
it
just
have?
pretending to be this stupid, or is this a troll? Because no, he
there's
did not
no-
have
there's no
MS-13
pretending
tattooed on his knuckles.
No, I'm proud of my country now that Trump is running it. No, this is no pretending.
So you're not pretending to be the stupid, you just actually are. Okay, he didn't have MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles.
Yes, he did.
Then show me.
Oh my god, you're just as dumb as all that fake ass news that's going around, dude.
Should I can I get you like a picture of his knuckles?
Oh god, man, I've seen it. I think I've actually watched the fucking news, the real news.
I actually
It's
think I think
real.
I'm just gonna pull you up a picture of his knuckles.
Oh,
Are
go
you
right
ready?
ahead. Yeah, yeah, please do. Yeah, the one that's been fucked with and is
Wait,
not
wait,
real.
wait, fucked with and not real? What do you mean?
Fucked with and not real. Yes, not. It's not real. That shit can be
So
so.
you're basically denying that it's not real before I even show it to you.
on the news where that's the shit I trust. What are you gonna show me? Show me. Where
Wait,
are you getting it from?
this is coming from the news.
What news? Which one?
This
Which
is coming
one?
from
Where-
Fox.
where? Fox. Okay, go right ahead. Yeah.
No,
Go.
for sure, you
Go
got
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
Don't worry, I'm going as fast as I
He
can.
said, "Oh, the fake news." Childish.
You seem like a really annoying person. And more
thank
annoying
you.
than most. I can't lie.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
That makes you even more annoying.
Oh God.
Okay.
This is great.
So can you please show me the MS-13, ma'am?
What the fuck is that?
It's a picture of his knuckles.
Oh my God.
So we're are you gonna leave? Are you gonna leave? Because I don't see an MS-13. Can you show me the MS-13, please? Can you please show me the MS-13, ma'am? Yeah, she's leaving. She's leaving. She's leaving.
Dude, I'm right here.
Okay, so show me the MS-13. Oh, by the way, I can't hear you when you're not in the TikTok app. For everyone on YouTube, by the way, it is only in the TikTok stream right now. I got the knuckles up here. Where's the MS-13? Can you?
Okay.
Please?
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Sorry.
So where is it?
Oh my God. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Look. I stand by what I said. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
Keep trying to
so explain
do
to
what you
us
gotta do.
why you said what you said. Where's the MS-13?
I still believe in it. I don't care. I don't care what I'm looking at. I already know it's true.
But explain to us your belief, because these are his knuckles. Like you're saying that you don't care, you stand by it, you believe it to be true. Explain the belief to me. Convince me of your perspective by detailing where the MS-13 is on his knuckles. That's all I'm asking. While she's like doing whatever the hell she's doing, I'm gonna think a couple. Ah! Laura! Laura! Oh my God! Yo! Laura with a $500 donation on PayPal! Oh my God! Holy shit! I want to see 5,000 Laura W's down below in that chat. Now, I got to read. Oh, welcome back into the stream. Hey, oh, she left. She left. Great timing. Great timing for her. Because I'm going to read Laura's message out loud. Okay? And now, keep in mind, I'm just quoting Laura. These are not my words. These are Laura's words. I want to make that one clear. This is not Dean. This is Laura. Laura says, donating again because of this BITCH. Tell her mean girl laugh does not work outside of high school. Thank you for the $500 donation, Laura. And oh my God, Adam with the $207 donation on PayPal for the 207K subs on YouTube. Adam and Laura, what the fuck? Holy shit. Oh my God. Adam and Laura. I want to see nothing but W Adams and W Lauras in that chat because holy fuck. I like, that's crazy. I do not deserve that at all. I am living in a dream. This is not reality. Holy fuck. Thank you so much, Adam and Laura. I want to see nothing but W Adams and W Lauras in that chat while we pass the mic back to Luke to tell us why he thinks men are better at leading than women. Take it away, buddy.
I think personally, it's the economy. I think men just know it better, like have more knowledge on it than women do. I mean, that's just a personal thing. I'm not here. I'm not. Our economy in the U.S. is shit.
Would you agree that like economics is like a field of academic and research?
Yeah, I feel like yeah.
It's
100%.
academics, okay.
Like
so,
what Trump,
no, just listen to what I'm saying. So you agree that the economy is a field of academics, right?
Yes.
So
like
women outperform men in academics at all levels in all things.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm hard-headed.
So because the economy is a field of academic research, women would be more proficient on average insofar as academic research than men.
I just think men are more successful with it. Like as Trump turning $1 million to like $6 billion. That's not easy to do.
Yo, the live literally just got fucked. We just got like a quadruple restriction, so we can't push out to the For You page more. The view count's likely going to drop dramatically. The stream's not ending. We just got fucked by the algorithm. So you think men are better? Why do you think men are better at
I think there's like when I'm like, I'm just saying like there's the billionaires in the world. It's more of like men that are billionaires.
Okay, yeah,
there aren't women billionaires.
See, that's absolutely true. But the reason why I think there's more men with a greater level of wealth is because women have been systemically disparaged from getting that wealth. They literally couldn't open a bank account, start a business, or own property until like what, the late 19th or early 20th century. Like, come on, what the fuck are you saying? And like these same systemic disparages exists in the context of race too. Like it's like 85% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white. There is great levels of income and wealth disparities between white individuals and black individuals because of systemic racism. Under your view, does this mean that white individuals are better at leading than black individuals?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Holy fucking shit, women couldn't. Oh, that's right. They couldn't have credit cards or bank accounts until the 70s. Damn, that's nuts.
I didn't know that. I didn't.
All right. So because wealth disparities don't make white individuals better at leading, why would wealth disparities make men better at leading?
I think for me personally, it's like a personal thing, like it's personal belief. But
yeah, but that's that's unironically what you just defined prejudice. Yeah. You're like, oh, it's a really personal belief that I can't explain nor can I justify. I just find it to be true. Guess what? That's exactly what Nazis do. That's exactly what KKK members do. That's exactly what slave owners did. That's what anti-Semites do.
I'm saying we're here and now. We're not in the 1970s anymore. We're here and now. It's 2024. So now a woman can open up their own bank account. They can go out there and make millions and billions of dollars. I'm just wondering why they they don't, like, at a sense. Like,
because not only do we still see the lack of generational wealth attributed to and associated with women, but it is also the case that we still have the social stigmas that exist in the workplace that place significantly more resistance amongst women within particular fields compared to men. Also, you said it's 2024, get with the age, it's 2025. And then we still see these same levels of income inequalities as it would apply to white and black individuals in America today as well, because those same stigmas exist for black individuals. That same lack of access to generational wealth exists for black individuals, and that is why we still see white individuals making more than black individuals today, but you're unwilling to yield the conclusion that therefore white individuals are better at leading, just like you should also be unwilling to yield the conclusion that therefore men are better at leading.
I never said white individuals were better at leading.
Right, that's a conclusion that you reject, right?
Yeah.
But the same logic that you're using to justify this idea that men are better at leading could also be used to justify that other conclusion. Therefore, because you reject that other conclusion, we should throw that logic as a whole out the fucking window.
Then I I just like this is out there. Then I guess I just want to why is there never been a woman president yet?
Yeah, and
Like, I
imagine
feel
you were
like-
talking to a fucking Nazi in 2007 that said, why has there never been a black president yet? For the same systemic limiters and societal stigmas that would impact women. It's just
We
different
have had a
forms
black president.
of oppression.
But we have had a black president.
That's
though.
why I said that's the same thing a Nazi would say in 2007 before Obama was elected.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. That's my bad. No, I like guys are just like right now. Just like I like Trump's beaten both the women that have tried running. He beat them both 2016 and now 2025.
Dude, you're such a fucking tool. You're an absolute idiot. The reason why I say that is because just because a candidate wins an election doesn't make them the better pick. Like, for instance, you've probably spent the last 4 years shitting on Biden, even though Biden absolutely wiped Trump in 2020. And then just because Trump won those 2 elections meant that he was literally the better candidate, okay, we have one man that's better at leading than 2 women. How come the 170 million American men are better at leading than the 172 million American women?
I think how it's like I grew up traditionally, so how I see it is I want my future wife I want her to stay home, take care of the kids, cook and clean. You know, I want her to feel like she doesn't have to go out and go make a dime. I want her to feel like my husband can go out and work and make the money so our family can survive and last. That's how I see it.
Okay, I'm about to expose to everyone watching how absolutely contradictory the MAGA worldview is. Check this shit out. This is a good argument. You've probably never heard it before, and I hope you repeat it interpersonally whenever it can be applied. So you think that men are supposed to go out and work while the woman is supposed to stay at the house and provide, correct?
Yes.
Got it. What are your thoughts on DEI?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What are your thoughts on DEI? Do you think that DEI is bad because it replaces a merit-based economy with an economy that rather dictates what people should do based upon attributes such as their race or gender?
No.
No. So you like DEI? What's your thoughts on DEI?
I mean, I don't really. Just like I don't know this shit, so I don't.
You don't know what DEI is? Diversity, equity, and inclusion, sir.
I don't know. Really, I don't know.
Donald Trump has only spent the last, 2 years ripping on it.
You know? Yeah. You know.
So what are your thoughts on DEI?
I think Trump is right at a sense for it.
So you think that DEI is bad because it replaces a merit-based system with a system that rather determines what individuals should be doing based upon their gender or sex, correct? Gender, sex, race, etc. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only person that is advocating for a system in which individuals' abilities and aptitudes should meet the only person that's advocating for a system that determines what people should do based upon their gender or sex is you when you say that because a man's a man, he should go out and work, and because a woman's a woman, she should stay at the home.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I see it when you...
do you see how your same critiques of DEI actually apply for the same traditional systems that you advocate for? The only true form of your false conceptions of DEI is literally this traditional family structure where you say because a man's a man, they get to go out and work, and because a woman's a woman, she gets to stay at home. You're not saying that we should choose or we should dictate what individuals do based upon their merit or qualification, but we should rather literally dictate what individuals do based upon their gender and sex?
Yeah. I mean, how I see it is, I don't know. I mean, this is just like out there, you know. I have a girlfriend right now, so me and her, she wants.
Can you respond to the argument I just gave you?
About.
Bro, you're not even tracking what I just said. I thought that you're a man. Aren't you supposed to be smarter than this?
Oh, I said at the beginning I wasn't smart.
Oh, wait, but you're a man.
Yeah, I am.
So why aren't you just automatically qualified to have this conversation with me because of what's in between your legs? I mean, isn't this what you've been describing to us this whole time? Oh, I'm a man. I have a penis. I'm better than half our population.
What I do, yes. What I do. I think I'm better than half the population for what I do for work. Yes.
Yeah, what do you do?
Plumber.
Plumbing. Yeah. Your testosterone really helps you be more skilled.
Yeah.
Okay. How?
Send a woman out into my field and see how long they last.
Why do you think men are better at women at being plumbers?
I think it's a male dominant field.
Okay,
of
so
work.
if a field of work is male dominated, then the men are better at performing in it. So then explain to me why, although the field of surgeons is male dominated, the women outperform the men in the field, even though they count for a minority of surgeons.
Okay, Dean, you have a girlfriend, correct?
Yes, and I love her very much. Unlike you and your girlfriend, you don't love her if you treat her differently than you treat men because of what's in between her legs. You don't love her if you think that she's not qualified to be able to do particular things out of the simple fact that she's a woman.
Bro. Listen. Just let me say this. Okay, as a plumber, so you'd okay. Let's say your girlfriend was like, hey, I want to go out. I want to go out and go be a plumber and hop in a hole, hop in an 8-foot hole with pipes and stuff, and it's full of shit. You let her just go out and do it. I mean, why you sit at home?
Yeah, well, the funny fucking assumption is you thinking that you can have control and say so and dictation over what your girlfriend does. The statement, I'm going to let her be a plumber, is like already we're off to a false prerogative, a bad start here. No, I would support her decision to be a plumber. Okay. But once again, I want you to respond to my debunk of your position. You said very clearly that because the field of plumbers is male dominated, this makes men perform better than women in the field, right? That's your position, correct?
Yes, sir.
Here's the issue. 85% of surgeons are male. Does that mean that the field of surgery is male dominated?
No.
What?
Oh wait, yeah, my bad. I thought you were gonna say. I thought what you're implying is that like
85% of surgeons are males. Does this mean that field is male dominated?
Yes.
Okay, so therefore, if your logic was true, we would expect men in that field to outperform the women in the field, right?
Normally, yes. There's more men out there that are doing
We see the opposite. There was a study done by the AMA in conjunct with the JMA on 1.4 million patients that described if you're operated on by a male compared to a female, you're more likely to die as a result of your surgery. And if you live, you're more likely to experience negative postoperative results. How do you explain that?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
There's a study done by the AMA in the Journal of the AMA on 1.4 million patients over 10 years that demonstrated that if you're operated on by a male compared to a female, you're more likely to die. And if you live, you're more likely to experience negative postoperative outcomes. Explain that. I thought you said because 85% of the people in the field are men, they're supposed to be better. They're worse. Explain it.
That's what this says online. That's what it says online.
So doesn't this completely contradict this this construct that you have that merely because a field is dominated by men, that therefore the men are better?
I said in my personal field, Dean.
Okay, so how come male domination in your field means that the men are better, but not in the field of surgeons?
Yes, do I think women are better?
Hey, answer my question. Answer my question. How does male domination in your field logically imply that therefore the men are better in your field, but not in any other field? That sounds like a very illogical, irrational, special plea that is not backed by any fact or substance.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I guess like most things that are male dominant, men are better at.
Okay, prove it.
NFL. We'll go sports. NFL. The NFL. Do you see a lady out there fucking kicking a football or tackling a man? Fuck no.
Oh no, my cat just knocked over a bunch of stuff in my background. So anyways, forever, women weren't even allowed to play in the NFL. And then B, do you think that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports?
Oh, no.
Wait, why? You're telling me that women should be able to compete with men in the NFL, and the fact that we don't means that men are better at leading.
No, what I'm saying is like the NFL is male dominant. Only males do it.
Okay.
So that's a job for them.
So, but the difference between the NFL and like any of these other sports leagues is the fact that like women weren't allowed to compete in the NFL, and you don't think that they should be able to compete in the NFL.
No, it's,
And that might honestly
it's
still be the
like
case for many leagues today. And that's also different because it is the case that males are physically stronger on average compared to females. So
exactly. So why should a trans be able to play?
a trans? What is a trans? How about you say a trans
woman-
person?
a-
Sure,
a
I'm going to
trans-
answer your question just to entertain your little pivot, you sick piece of shit. But anyways, after a trans woman undergoes around 2 to 3 years of HRT, it is a case that studies have consistently demonstrated that they possess no unfair biological advantage over their cis women counterparts. So I appreciate that I'm able to give you an answer here. But anyways, to go back to what I'm saying, the reason why we typically see a cis man being able to outperform a cis woman in the context of the NFL is because they're physically stronger on average. Do you think because men are physically stronger on average compared to women means that therefore men are better at leading than women because of that fact?
No.
Oh, okay. So if it's not physical strength that makes men better at leading than women, then what is it?
I said I said at the beginning that it's economic based right now. Our country's in the economy crisis that we suck at it.
But you don't have any reason to believe that men would be better at managing the economy than women. Like, in fact, the economic policy of the woman was significantly better than the economic policy of the man. Like, honestly, you're just a sad little despicable piece of shit. I'm surprised that I'm able to maintain my cool when I'm talking to people like you. It pisses me so off that there's little fucking boys just like you that just absolutely despise and shit on half of our population for no goddamn reason. And honestly, how about you pipe down, little bro? And what pisses me off even more is I've spent the last... Yeah, don't talk to me like that, little boy. You're going to get pissed because I'm cooking you on the internet. And guess what? What's going to come next? The threat of violence? Oh yeah, that's why men commit 92% of all violent crimes. And that's what? Does that make men better at leading? The fact that you can't control your emotions for shit? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm a big, strong man. I have the emotional regulation of the typical toddler. And guess what? I'm best fit to... Get the fuck out of here. But what honestly makes me really upset is the fact that I spent the last 30 minutes of my life describing to you exactly why you're wrong, okay? You give me this argument. You're like, men are better at dealing with the economy than women. Then I'm like, well, no. Okay, the economy and economics as a whole is a field of academic research. Women outperform men in all fields of all academic research consistently, meaning that as it relates to the economy, on average, we'd see women better fit to serve the economy. Okay. And then you responded saying like, oh, that's education. I'm not talking about education. My evidence that men are better at the economy is that there's more male billionaires. Okay, well, I'm like, well, wealth disparities can exist for many reasons. And the main reason that we see wealth disparities exist between men and women is because of systemic sexism. How could you expect there to be equality in the sense of how many male billionaires there are compared to female billionaires when it is the case that women couldn't open up a fucking bank account to keep those billions in until the 1970s? Your grandma was alive in a time where she couldn't open up a bank account. And then I add on to that by saying that there's other systems of oppression that exist that don't just disparage women, but also black people. There's significantly more white billionaires than black billionaires. And then I bring up the fact that if you don't think white individuals are better at leading than black individuals for that reason, you couldn't think that men are better at leading than men for that reason. And then you just don't have any response. You ignore it, and then you pivot away, and then you repeat the original claim that you think men are better with the economy. You don't have a single neuron firing inside of your brain right now that is conveyant of fact, reason, and logic. You are an emotionally driven creature, and you hold on to your prejudice to make yourself feel better. You have a low level of self-esteem, you have a terrible and tarnished self-image, and you have no respect for yourself. So you account for that by relatively projecting on 50% of the population. So at the bare minimum, you get to say, I hate myself, but guess what? I'm still more valuable than all women alive. And it's despicable. It sucks. It pisses me off so much. You're a spineless little boy.
Spineless. Okay. All right, Dean. I mean, that's. I mean, you like to talk shit on the camera, man.
Yeah, physical threats of violence. Do it. Come on. I've been waiting for it. That's what comes next. That's the next part of the script. What are you going to do? Punch me in my face because I called out the fact you're an idiot? God, come on, bro. I think you need to go do some more reps in the gym, bro. Where's the protein drink, bro? God, you got to get your muscle up so you can punch me in my face and break my jaw, bro. Fuck.
Dean, take a fucking chill pill, bro. I'm being so fucking calm right now. I'm saying like you like dead ass like I think how like the way you like to talk shit over a camera more than in person, and like I'll give it to you. I saw the videos and stuff of Charlie Kirk and you and him avoiding you. I agree. He avoided you at that call. You're at College Station, correct? That was the college.
Yeah.
Texas
Do you
one?
think it's funny how you have nothing to say about my total, complete destruction of your views as it relates to why you think men are better at leading than women? You're silent. You have nothing to say.
It's a personal fucking opinion, Dean.
A personal opinion that has absolutely no facts to justify.
Okay, cool.
Oh God, yeah. Let me guess. You're now going to turn around and get into a conversation with a Nazi that thinks all Jewish people should die, and you're going to be like, why do you think that? And they're like, guess what? It's a personal fucking opinion. Then you're going to say, oh, that's chill, bro. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Guess what? All prejudice is personal fucking opinion. It was a personal opinion of 90% of humans for the last 5,000 years that the earth was flat. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't make it up. These personal opinions, it's just your emotion, man. It's your prejudice. It is completely total, right, idiotic, irrational thoughts that you have no evidence for, that you use to make the world around you worse. You think just calling it a personal opinion somehow makes you look good? Holy fuck! Do you just think that nobody's ever been wrong about anything because all beliefs ever held have always been personal opinions?
Okay, so let me get this right real quick. You voted for Kamala. Why? Because it was your personal opinion.
Back to Kamala Harris. Back to Kamala Harris. See, the difference
we're talking about
is
personal
I could give you reasons why that's my personal opinion.
Okay.
And if you have counter arguments against my reason, I could prove them wrong. I gave you 5 minutes worth of counter arguments against this quirky little personal opinion than yours. And your response is to say that I wouldn't talk to you like this in person and that Charlie Kirk was running from me. Well, yeah, where can you prove me wrong like I'd prove you wrong?
As of about voting, so
No! As of why you think men are better at leading than women. I spent 5 minutes disproving it.
I think truly that men are just better at leading a country than women are.
Hey, and look, I gave you a counter argument against everything you said.
My statement is there's never been a female president. If female were better at leading the country than men, then why has there never been a female president? That's
Here's
what
my
I have to
counter
say.
argument. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm ready, Dean.
Okay. Also, there's never been a female president because of little shits like you. But I digress. Now, let's go to my counter argument. And I want you to engage. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So you don't think that white people are better at leading than black people, right?
No.
Imagine right now, you and me got into a time machine. We teleported ourselves back to the year 2007. A white supremacist walked up to you and said that they think white people are better at leading than black people because we've never had a black president. What would you say to them?
Tell them they're wrong because everyone's equal, no matter your skin color.
Hey, guess what? Remember how you just told me that you think men are better at leading than women because there's never been a female president? Well, you're wrong because everybody's equal regardless of their gender.
Okay. I'll agree with you on that. You got me, man. I'll agree with you on that.
Great. So do you have any other reasons why you think men are better at leading than women?
No, I mean, can I say my reason? Got my ass whooped. I'll admit that. I'll admit when I'm wrong.
I appreciate you for admitting when you're wrong. I don't apologize for being an absolute unruling asshole to you. I think you deserved it.
That's fine. That's what you think, man. That's totally fine. I mean, there's gonna be arguments that you're not always gonna win too.
Listen, but what I want you to take away from this is like, dude, like shit like that, it regresses our society. It hurts our society so much. Like imagine that it's 6 to 7 weeks in utero development when you were being developed inside of your mother's uterus that your SRY gene didn't activate and you were a female. Okay? How annoyed and pissed off would you be hearing all these airheads on the internet talk about how you will never be capable of what they're capable of because they're a woman?
trying to think. I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. You kind of got me there. I don't know.
Think about it. I'm going to move on before I get myself banned. Oh boy. All right. We're going to go to move on to the next guest. I typically will like offer some type of apology when I just get like really emotionally riled up against a guest. I like am unapologetic as it relates to that last guest. Like grinds my gears, chat. Grinds my gears. Grinds my gears. I'm happy that he ended up conceding, and I hope that means that he's actually dropping the belief. I hope that means that he's going to stop thinking that. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to what will likely be the last guest of the stream. But before we do, I actually do have a couple people to thank here. Wendy. With the $200 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for the fucking love, Wendy. Holy shit. Let's get 2,000 W Wendy's down below in the chat. That is so incredibly kind of you. That is seriously insane. I really appreciate that. That is nuts. That is nuts, Wendy. I do not deserve that at all. That is so incredibly kind of you. If everybody could please show some love to Wendy at once in the chat, that would be incredibly kind. As well as Amy. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Amy says, thanks for doing what you do, Dean. Frequent viewer here. Amy, I really appreciate you for your kind message as well as your $50 donation. That is incredibly kind. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you so much. Everybody, show some love to Wendy and Amy down below in that chat. As well as Coral with the $20 over on YouTube super chat saying, keep cooking. The cook will never end. I appreciate you for your love, Coral. Thank you so much for your kindness. As well as Jack, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal saying, I needed that fuck. Thank you. Thank you for the $20. I feel like I hear that a lot and I struggle, like, I guess truly understanding what it means when people say like, oh, I needed that. You know what I mean? Is it just like somebody with those views just getting like obliterated? Is that like the sentiment? As well as Yashika, thank you so much for the $30 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love, Yashika. Let's get 300 Yashika W's. Yashika says, I love you, Dean. Keep speaking the truth about Trump. I will never stop. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Yashika. That is Yashika. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Kevin, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal. And Sarah with a $15. Shout out Kevin. Shout out Sarah. You guys are so incredibly kind. As well as Markella, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo, saying thank you for saying what I want to say. Dude, Markella, that is so kind of you. Thank you so much. And Heather with the $50 on Venmo too. Holy shit, you guys are going crazy. Thank you so much, Heather. 500 Heather W's down below saying thank you so much for standing up for human rights, Dean. God, it's a bare minimum. Like, oh, it's a bare minimum. It's a bare minimum. Like, oh my God. It frustrates me. It pisses me off. Sela, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. That is SELA. Parker, thank you so much for the $30 over on Venmo. 300 Parker W's. Parker says, a quote-unquote trans giving you money for riding into battle for me. Thank you so much for fighting for us every single day. Parker, that is an incredibly kind donation. I'm so sorry they have to put up with shit like that. Thank you for the $30, Parker. Elizabeth with the $5, John with the $20, Erica with a 5, and Angie with a 1, and Jessica with a 10. Then Lillian, this was 35 minutes ago, I just didn't get around to it. Thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Then Key Sky with a 10, Hannah with a 5, and I think we are all caught up. We are. Thank you guys so much for the love. That is so incredibly kind. And then Sarah with a 5. Thank you so much, Sarah. That is incredibly kind. And then once again, Jack with a 20. I really appreciate you guys so much for all of the love. That is seriously outrageous. I'm thinking that we spend maybe like 5 minutes. I'm just going to take questions from the chat before I end, and we're going to end a little bit on the earlier side today. The reason why we're going to end a little bit on the earlier side is just because looks like we got a restriction on the live. Might as well end. But we'll do one more debate. Let's see here. One moment. D-Sky, how do you?
Oh, is that me? I'm 42, man.
Melanie, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Shout out, Melanie. You said you're 42?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I mean,
maybe
You don't sound 42, but you sound over the age of 18, so I'm confused.
That's funny. Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Okay, so take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Sympathetic. I have a sympathetic argument. So I was just wondering what you think about what's going on with
Have you been on before?
James Comey. What was that?
Have you been on before?
Yeah, but don't kick me. I have a good question.
Okay, you're saying something about James Comey?
Yeah, because a couple of supporters or a couple of guests ago, you were saying that the assassination attempt on Trump was like was wrong, and that you agreed with that being wrong. But so I'm just wondering what you.
Oh, you're
what
talking
you
about like the 8647. I don't think that. 86,
yeah. I'm just wondering what you think about that.
I don't think 8647 is calling for the execution of an individual. Like typically, the way that we use the phrase 86 is to basically say get rid of or to be kicked out. And if you want to like hyperbolically assume that 86 means to kill, well, then do you think that Donald Trump's first pick for Secretary of Defense, Matt Gaetz, is a serial killer because he said that he had successfully 86'd 3 Republicans from the party?
I'm not familiar with what you're saying. But when I think like 86, it means like throw away, right? Like when you 86.
Yeah, to
something.
get rid of. Like we should impeach
Yeah.
Trump. 8647.
Yeah. So what would happen if like let's say Andrew McCabe did that, like 120 days or 130 days into Biden's administration? What if Andrew McCabe would have been like, did the same exact thing? Would you have been like, oh, that's cool, or would you have been like, that's calling for the that's advocating for the violence.
This is kind of the question that I asked you that you didn't respond to. How did you feel when Matt Gaetz did that to 3 Republicans?
Well, I mean, I don't remember him doing that, but isn't
If
the
he did
47?
do that?
Isn't the 8647? Isn't that like the specific code? Like, is it like 86?
No, 47 just refers to Trump because he's the 47th president.
Oh, my bad. Okay. And then last question. Then, isn't Trump getting credit for like stopping the India-Pakistan nuclear conflict or something?
He claimed credit,
but he doesn't get any credit for that.
I mean, JD Vance said before they achieved their ceasefire agreement that the U.S. fundamentally had no involvement in India nor Pakistan. And then after they achieved their ceasefire agreement, Donald Trump came out, contradicted that, and said it was all his doing. And Donald Trump has a track record of lying and manipulating circumstances to claim a success for himself when he was not involved. So, a little bit agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah, basically, I was just wondering on your I ain't trying to piss you off right now, bro. I watched that last one, so trying to de-escalate you a little bit. But okay, cool. Yeah, that was basically really my whole thing. I just want to know what you want about that, because I mean, that to me, like it's James Comey. You know what I mean? It's a former FBI director. Calling for,
I obviously don't think it's calling for his death, but like I will say him like putting something out that he knew would be interpreted by Republicans that way is pretty nuts. But I don't think it meant that. I was just saying, like, from a PR perspective, that was definitely an interesting move.
Yeah.
But take care. Parker, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So we've been live for 3.5 hours, and about an hour ago, we got hit with 2 restrictions. So I'm actually about to end. That was my last debate of the day.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. All right. Damn, I just got on, bro. Gonna leave me just like that? Okay. All right.
Let's make sure that we get you with a good raid.
Thanks, bro.
Where do you want the people? Tell the people where you want them to go.
Okay. All right. Damn. Okay. All right. I'll be on YouTube, Parker Get a Job, and then I'll also be on my TikTok, Parker Get a Job. I'm gonna try and use my man again.
Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, go over to Parker Get a Job, and if you're on TikTok, go over to Parker Get a Job.
Not the guitar, bro. 3.5 hours, bro. Damn, you've already been live for a while, bro. How was today? How was today, at least?
Today was all right. We had some decent debates, but also a lot of like really annoying people. I kind of like blew up on some misogynists. Used to be nuts. Then we had some decent conversations. A few like nut jobs. I'm not gonna lie. A few crazies, as always. But overall, it was a decent day, you know. I'd say that the crazies are probably a little bit more out today than they are on a typical evening.
Interesting. What restrictions did you get?
I don't know, like a bunch. Like one for alcohol and tobacco, one for like other regulated stuff. We got a shit ton. I'm not gonna lie.
So wait, is today like a? Did you get any other bands?
Not even a warning.
Okay, interesting. I like the guitar though. You should post a video of you doing that. I'd probably blow up right now.
I think if I was to post
Did you see your video? Blow up?
Oh yeah, I was doing well. I think if I was to post a video, it would probably be like a guitar on a loop pedal, with piano as well. Like I'd probably hit like a 5-2-1 chord progression on the guitar for some jazz, and then like freestyle to it on the keys. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty sick.
Dean, new Dean, a video dropping soon with guitar. I'm calling it, bro.
Oh yeah. But okay, I'm gonna
All right,
stop
I'll see you
postponing
later, bro.
so we stop losing viewers, so we have more people to raid you. have a good stream, Parker.
It was good seeing you, bro.
Good seeing you as well. Hey, for the 4.6 thousand people on the TikTok, I am gonna end for the day. But before I do, you should consider hitting that follow button. I'm live for 4 hours a day doing these debates. 4 hours a day. Does anybody know this song? Alex G, what a Chad. Okay, I'm ending. If you're on TikTok, head over to @ParkerGetAJob. If you're on YouTube, head over to @ParkerGetAJob. I love y'all, and I will see you all tomorrow. Much love, and goodbye. Peace.